break my camera too bad. That's good. So yeah, just these short little pieces are going to be ideal. Alright, so it's pretty short. I could potentially cut it like that. It'd be a little bit awkward. You stick it in between these two. Pull hard. Doesn't go anywhere. And it's pretty efficient. So we've got some wood. I swear I'll get it. There we go. All right, let's get this into the tent. Uh-oh, we're dropping pieces left and right here. Well, I just walked in there and it was super warm. So let's, with the doors open, so let's grab our thermometer, take a temperature reading out here, and then go on inside and hope our camera screen doesn't fog up, our lens rather. All right, so we got -10 or 11. Maybe -9 or 10 Celsius. All right, let's go inside. We got no smoke coming out there now, just heat, which is good, ideal. So at the top is obviously the hottest, but let's put it down here. Let's put it resting on top of my my backpack. So -9, we'll call it Celsius, before we came in here. And it has jumped, you saw how long we've been in, 2 seconds. And it's jumped just to under 0. Just to right under 0 Celsius. Nope. What am I seeing? There we go. To like -7 or 8. That's right, -7 or 8. Go into your home. Oh, you're too good for your home. There we go. Got some. All right, so I really do want to push this, or pull that farther away from there, and I can do it with that rope. So let's bury a snow anchor. Got this one cut already, because this rope doesn't reach that tree, which I wish it did. So I'm gonna pull this out pretty good, not too far, because I don't want, again, I don't want to stretch that hole near the door, near the zipper. We'll bury it right there. So we'll just need to dig out a bit. The good thing is this is all loose snow. This is just gonna be another obstacle for Tripper to try to avoid. No, not for you, okay? The other side has one too, but I don't think I'll do it up. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But let's look and see what difference that made now on the inside. Ah, falling all over the place. You can see it pulled out quite a bit. That's somewhat good distance away. Wonder if I can pull the bottom out. No, Tripper, no, seriously, not for you, man. Well, it's plenty hot, as you can tell. There you go. Plenty hot. Well, let's see. Let's see how hot we can get this thing in here. You guys, thank you for the suggestions on the hole. This was the hole, remember? So I guess the general consensus, the best thing I saw was to get 2 pieces of material, one on the outside, one on the inside, glue it in, sew it down, and then it should be pretty rigid. I can even wax it if I wanted, but I'm not too concerned about it. We'll fix that up soon. We'll fix it up out here actually, while it's standing up here. Out here, I mean. It's not that big a deal, but where it is kind of is not cool. But anyways, there is a hole. They have holes here for ventilation. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a hole there, so I'm not too concerned about it not working by any means just because of that. But yeah, let's get in here and warm up, buddy. Get my French vanilla going. I gotta melt a little bit of snow too, though. I was drinking my water while I was working. I drank a little bit too much. But I think with that amount of water to start with, we can generate some melted snow pretty easily that turns into water. I'll put the 2 winners of the Epic Bars and the Scout Goes Camping books right now on the screen. I have to do it at home still. I have to pick the winners. I haven't done it yet, so I'm saying this is the time to look right now. Boom, on the screen, 2 winners. Please email me, and we'll get that all sorted out. We'll get them sent to you, and we'll get them autographed if you want, and not if you don't want. No big deal. Dude, no joke. This has to come off. Wow, it's warm. It is warm in here. Oh my goodness, boys and girls. Okay, so we've got our Joe Robinette Scout titanium cup with us and lid. So we'll get our water boiled up in there. French vanilla on. Yeah, we'll have to put a little bit more water in there. Let's go, oh, sorry, more snow in there. Let's go out and get some snow. You know what? I'm not too picky. I'm not too picky. We'll just do tent snow. There we go. A little bit of leaf litter in there, I'm sure. But again, like that water that I put in already will give this a really good head start. So this won't take long at all to turn into all water, and boiled water at that. I will boil it just because it's random snow off the ground. There could be deer poops and stuff on it. No one needs giardia. The Bill doesn't want to stay up. Stay up, Bill. Oh, snap. Here, this is at the door. This is about halfway up. We'll tie it here if we can. There's no real good spot to tie it. Should have a little loop on here. There you go. All right, I'll leave that there for a minute and see. Hey, buddy. 15 minutes later. Yeah, don't touch it. Stick with me. I'll learn you. Look at that mess in there, right? I don't care one bit. Boil her up, mash them, put them in a tea, make it into a Frenchie. Call it good. Used up all that hardwood already. Man, my knees are soaking wet from doing this. going good. We'll shut this down. Close the damper off again. And that should really start to pop. Okay, so we're up near, you see that? There you go. Over 20. 24 degrees Celsius, which would be over 70 degrees Fahrenheit at this height. And within that proximity to the stove. But what is, like, I'm almost at the other end here with my hand. We're all pretty close proximity to the stove in here. Alright, you wanna get out of here? Sit. Good boy. Wait, okay? Stay. Wait. Okay, go. Fogging up here. Hope my camera's not messed up. It looks pretty foggy in the bottom right hand corner here. Anyway, I need to put a tall ridge pole going from that tree there. Man, yeah, it doesn't look good. I think there's some fog inside the camera. Uh-oh. From there, across the top of the tent, and then coming out over there or something, and then I'll line my tarp up across over the wooden ridge pole and tie it down. And then that way we'll protect from the snow and the sleet and the slush and the rain and all that jazz. I'm concerned about my camera here. I gotta look at it here. Here. My camera just messed up on me. I filmed the boiling water and putting the French vanilla in and talking about the gear I'm gonna bring and stuff, and I go over and look and it says cannot access the memory card or something. Does that make any sense to you guys? I have a Nikon Z6, cannot access memory card. It's not the first time it's done it to me either. Anyway, that French vanilla is ready to go. I think the camera cut off. I'm having some problems with it, but I was talking about what I can bring next time, because I don't have to bring the tent in and the stove and all that. I can bring a couple extra goodies in there in the sled. So next time we'll build a tripod behind to put the ridge pole across. I think that'll be a good idea. Build that ridge pole, tie the tarp on to protect it. We will build a floor, probably spruce boughs for the most part. Build a cot. We'll do an overnighter. We'll cook some good food, probably like a stir fry type thing that I can do on the wood stove. Because again, like I can have a fire on the outside, but it'd be nice to use the wood stove for some cooking. It's nice, man. Feel comfortable in here. It's nice to have this thing where I can come and warm up. I don't feel rushed to get the dog home because he's cold. I don't feel like I need to, you know what I mean, be moving all the time. Just relax. I will still do videos, like trip videos and stuff. I actually bought a Lux tent, which is like a teepee pyramid.
So for whoever watched our last video where Carl said at the end, I wonder if you can still tell I'm going to be a bit tipsy in the next video. That went out the fucking window in 5 minutes.
I love my job. At the time of recording this video, there were about 800 Pokemon spread across the Pokemon series of games, and about 50% of them look stupid. Perhaps none look more stupid than Spinder, a panda-inspired Pokemon that has a dick drawn right on its face. To be clear, not every Spinder has a dick drawn on its face, just a select and presumably very annoyed few.
So why do some of them have dicks drawn on their faces?
It's the result of a quirk in the game that assigns a random personality value to every Pokemon in the game based on a 32-bit integer, whatever the fuck that means, which in layman's terms means that every Pokemon you encounter is assigned a random number between 1 and 4.294 billion. In a basic sense, this number dictates any given Pokemon you encounter's level, gender, and stats. This clever bit of programming makes virtually every game of Pokemon ever played entirely unique, because the odds of encountering two Pokemon with the same personality value is virtually nil.
So what does this have to do with Spinder and the dick on its face?
Well, in specific regards to Spinder, the personality value also dictates the placement of 4 random spots placed upon its head, as a nod to the fact that in-game lore states that no 2 Spinder have the exact same spot placement.
Is this the only Pokemon that has something like this?
Pretty much, yeah, and it's weird because Spinder's not that great a Pokemon. It's got bad stats and its abilities aren't that useful, so it's not really going to help you become the very best if you have one on your team. For some reason, the people making the game say, you know what, every Spinder core is going to look unique because there are about 4.294 billion spot combinations it can have. Actually, that's not true, because there's also a 1 in 4,000 chance that you might encounter a shiny Spinder with blue spots instead of red. I mean, there are actually 8 billion possible combinations for how this individual Pokemon can look in-game.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with it having a dick on its face?
Well, statistically, the placement of the 4 spots can end up looking like this, or a minor variation thereof. And obviously, Brad, you can now see the picture you've got in front of you. Does that not look like a huge big dick and balls? Yeah? And bear in mind, like, obviously, in addition to having that exact combination of spots, they can also have, like I said, minor variations thereof, because obviously one of the balls might be slightly off to the left or slightly lower or higher, which means there are probably a couple of million Spinder that just have a huge big dick somewhere on their head.
Different angles, one pointing into its mouth.
Oh, you know there is. There's definitely one out there. There's like one who's got it right in the centre of the forehead. There's one who's got it like facing towards the mouth. Like the possibilities are quite literally almost endless. There are millions. The thing that frightens me as well is, like, technically in game there are about 8 billion different unique combinations you can have for Spinder, which means that when you're in a patch of grass, you have a chance of bumping into any one of those 8 billion, which means that when you're walking through that patch of grass, there are 8 billion Spinder there.
It's like Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger's Spinder.
Well, think if there are that, like, because obviously every single one of those is unique, there are 8 billion unique variations of this one individual Pokemon. That means they outnumber the humans on Earth today. And that's just one Pokemon. There are 800 fucking kinds of these, and every single one of those 800 has 4.294 billion possible unique variations. Which means, I don't know, can you do the math on that, Brad, and just put a number below? So imagine how many Pokemon exist in the world, and they all exist in a single patch of grass.
I feel sorry for the Spinder who ends up with the 3 dots like close together and gets sued by Disney.
What for looking at Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, for having a Mickey Mouse on his face.
And it has the one on the back of its head, and that's where the sniper aims. That's where the Disney sniper aims. Like, none of that. Not infringing our intellectual property. Pokemons.
Is it just the face? It's not the bodies either?
No, it's only spot location on the face, which means that every variation of Spinder that has a dick somewhere on it has it on its head. I don't know how many are actually out there, but like, people going through the game's code have said this combination of spots does exist in the game's code, but as far as I'm aware, no one's actually found one. Because, like I mentioned, there's like 4 billion different combinations, so the odds of someone actually finding it and then that person taking a picture of it and uploading it to the internet are quite slim. But it does exist in the game's code, and it's really hilarious to think that just somewhere out there is this tiny little panda Pokemon walking around with a big old dick right on its face.
You know what I'm going to do for you, Carl, just for you?
What?
I'm going to make one.
You're going to make one?
I'm going to make one, I'm going to put it behind you.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Thank you very much. Random question, Brad, and for the people at home, what Pokemon do you think looks most like a penis? Because I'm very opinionated on this topic, and I am insistent that my answer is the correct one.
I mean, the obvious one is Diglett.
Yeah, that's a good one, but it doesn't beat Whale Lord.
Why Whale Lord?
Because I always remember a great picture I saw of like a triple battle in Pokemon Ruby or something, where it was 3 Whale Lords versus 3 Whale Lords, and each Whale Lord was just called Vibrator. Because Whale Lord's idle animation is he just goes up and down. So it's just like an animated GIF of just 3 Whale Lords versus 3 Whale Lords, and they're all called like Vibrator. They're all just bobbing up and down. The thing I like about Whale Lord though is what Pokemon game was it where you could get a Pokemon to follow you? It was like Pokemon
Heart
Soul
Gold.
Silver or Heart Gold. And my friend said whenever he played that game, he always made sure the Pokemon that followed him was a Whale Lord. Because he liked the idea of walking through the middle of like Pallet Town and everyone's behind him, just this giant 40 foot, but just barreling through everything.
Everywhere, he doesn't realise it's happening. Everywhere in front of him looks nice.
Yeah, but behind him is just destruction.
It's just this huge crater.
Just like leaving it, tying it up outside of railings behind the Pokemon Center. So don't run away now, Whale Lord. And the Whale Lord chases after a dog or something.
I think you're overestimating Wailord's ability to move on land.
Well, a lot of Pokemon move on land. Like Diglett can move on water. If Diglett can move on water, Whale Lord can move on land. Do you remember the picture that came out, like, that's been going around of a Diglett on a chair? And everyone's like, how? How did Diglett do this? Meaning, like, so now the leading theory is Diglett's just a trans-dimensional being.
Do you reckon the Spinder would try and blag it by saying he's got a Diglett on his face?
Maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just it's a stylistic representation of a Diglett. Do you know when people get shit tattoos? And they try and pass it off as it being like, no regrets. Which I contend is the best tattoo. No regrets is best tattoo.
What is this one? What's the one right there?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
How about that?
What are we talking about again?
I think it was Spinder.
It is Spinder. Oh, what a fucking shit tier Pokemon. I'd rather talk more about Whale Lord. Speaking of Whale Lord, have I ever told you about what I did with my Whale Lord? I love Whale Lords as a Pokemon. I like the idea it's like 40 foot long. It's just giant. And I chain bred a Whale Lord so it knew Rollout. And Rollout, if anyone doesn't know, is basically a move where you'll be able to find a clip of it from one of the animes, where Rollout just means that your Pokemon moves at cheetah speed while rotating.
Use rollout attack!
And I taught it to my Whale Lord, so I went, you know what? Fuck it, my Whale Lord's gonna roll everywhere. So I taught it, roll out, Zen Headbutt, bounce, which is a move where it bounces like 300 foot into the air and just body slams everything, and body slam, because it was just so hilarious to me. So it's like, you ever see the Schmeagle someone made? Or I forget, I think it's the Smeagol, where they made it, it's like the date rape Smeagol, where the moves it knows are Charm, Sleep Powder, and Pound. There's so much funny stuff you can do in Pokemon. The classic is obviously naming your rival Dickface. In the first Pokemon game, Professor Oak's like, oh, it's my grandson. What's his name again? Oh, that's like Dickhead. Yeah, that's right. That's your granddad's called Dickface. Well, the one is what you call like Bulbasaur, my dick. It's like, oh, my dick fainted. My dick grew up a level. I'll teach calling a cocoon a penis, and like penis learned harder.
Go, penis!
Yeah, penis learned because we're talking about that, please find the clip from the original series of Pokemon where Ash Ketchum has a Kakuna battle and he says the words and it will always stick with me, maximum harden.
Maximum hardness, Metapod!
Because you know what? I think we've all, like all the guys in the audience now, we've all been at that point where you wanted to just scream at your own dick maximum hardness. In conclusion, for anyone who ever looked at the later designs in the Pokemon series and thought they were kind of lazy, just remember that in like the third game of the series, there was a Pokemon that literally had a dick drawn on its face.
So Carl, I was thinking, get the word out there a bit more. Maybe we could do a like, comment, subscribe.
Is that why you got me liquored up today? You thought Carl would be a bit more malleable and amenable to the idea of doing like, comment, subscribe if we get him all drunk. No, fuck that. No, that is not what this channel is about.
You just said it though, I'll just use that bit.
Do not edit it so it sounds like I'm saying like, comment, subscribe. Bollocks to it.
No, I'll find an earlier video where you were wearing the same shirt.
That's so mean. That's not what this channel's about, bro. We decided early on, fuck that. We've had a lot of new subscribers since those early days. And I should probably let people know, if you've not gone back and watched a lot of our old videos, we did used to do like, comment, subscribe, but we took the piss out of it. And we stopped putting that in videos because we literally ran out of ways to make fun of the idea. And I think it'll never top the one where I went on for a full minute and said every single kind of social media at once. Because I think that's another year where I was really, really drunk. And I think we both just nearly died laughing at the end of that video. And I think we should have just stopped doing it then.
Ramses Wallard.
About how
Morg.
we were enjoying the videos. And
Yes.
why aren't we as popular? And I said because we don't do that shit.
And we don't ask other channels for collaborations. Although we have got one coming up, I should mention that. I will be appearing on the Today I Found Out podcast to talk about writing.
That's not really a channel collaboration. That's just you work for that channel.
Yeah.
So you're just doing something for
Well,
your
that's
other
going to be a
job.
plug for the channel. So I look forward to all the confused people clicking and saying, "This isn't Simon Whistler." It's like, well, no, it's me. I'm going to be on their podcast, and I've been talking to them about it. It's like, okay, so am I allowed to swear? It's like, not really. Okay. How about drink? Like, nah. No, I'm not going to have a lot to talk about in that one. Which really, I want to talk to him because that'd be the first time I've ever actually physically spoke to Daven or Simon.
Really?
Oh, I've always talked to him via email and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward because I want to ask Simon one, how does he get his head so smooth?
Oh, it's so shiny, isn't it?
I'm asking him that. I don't care. I'm also going to ask him why he didn't say my line when I wrote. Well, this is people that I write a lot of stuff for Today I Found Out, and I wrote in one article.
Ramses Wallard. Is Dead Mod Minecraft?
That I'm less aerodynamic than Simon Whistler. And for some reason, that got cut out of the plug, but everything else got kept in. And I want to know why he didn't say that. It was like, I don't know if he was genuinely offended or if he didn't find it funny. I also want to ask him if he found out how long it takes to wash his
Ramses
face.
Wallard.
I've always
Vet.
been curious. I've always wanted to ask a bald person, when do you stop washing your face? So I stop at my forehead, but does he come all the way back? I don't know, I've always wanted to ask him that. You know what, fuck it, since we're talking about it, let's just turn this into an impromptu channel update video. We're not talking about Pokemon anymore, you can cut it off now unless you're interested in where the channel is at the moment. So Brad, where is the channel at the moment? Because I've not asked this for a while, and I'm kind of curious myself.
We're about to hit, I think, 7,500 on the last day.
Subscribers? Shit, yeah. Go
And
us.
predicted to hit, I think, 10,000
Ramses
by
Wallard.
June.
Oak.
God.
Which means that that lovely little first video that we promised is going to come out.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not going to show you because
Okay,
I
so
know you
for
won't let
anyone-
me upload
For
it.
anyone who doesn't know, we started this channel, we were going to start as a proper fact channel, similar to what Simon Whistler does, only I haven't got the charisma of Simon Whistler. So we recorded a video that went with no jokes, no tangents, Brad isn't even in it, and it's fucking horrendous. And Brad's going to edit it together and it's going to be our 10,000 subscriber special. So you can see what this channel could have been like. And so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to drink in all these videos and just go off on one all the time. So that's one thing that's coming up. How are we doing otherwise?
Patreon's still going. Oh, we don't mention that.
No, we don't mention Patreon.
No, it's not. I'm nothing.
Secret. If you follow us on Patreon, thank you very much. On a personal note, I am moving into this house where we record these videos because I'm moving out of my old place because Landlord Gate Part 2 has happened, which means we'll be doing a lot more other random shit like what's streaming. And what's the thing we mentioned earlier that we're going to do because I really like the sound of it.
So if you've watched a previous video this week, you know that Carl fucking hates grown-ups too.
Oh, fucking hate grown-ups too,
So
man.
Carl wants to stream us watching Adam Sandler movies.
Yes. No, I'm not going to do no live gaming, none of that shit. I want to stream Adam Sandler movies without live commentary on how shit they are. But because obviously when I move into this house, we will be able to do that a little bit easier. And I will also be starting up a separate gaming channel with my drunk gaming shenanigans is going to be going onto that as well.
So you're becoming proper YouTubers now. Multiple channels for gaming.
Oh, that's how it's done, isn't it? If it was up to me, they'd be on this channel.
Yeah.
The thing I worry about though is we have people who watch it and they're like, just stick to the facts. Even though they have stuff like this in it where we just bullshitting for 20 minutes.
Well, the algorithm won't complement having different styles.
Yeah,
of
I've
video.
heard that. So
you have to have a second channel.
So my personal channel, like Carl Smallwood, which you might see linked somewhere in the description, will be in the coming months uploading separate stuff like drunk gaming sessions and things like that, and our streams will be going up there, so we're not disrupting this. And we're also going to do like film commentaries and all that bullshit. We don't really have a plan for what to do with the channel.
We literally just get together once a week and film.
Yeah, and then we say, oh, we should probably do this, and then I disappear. But I feel like when I'm actually in the house and I can't say, oh, I'm busy today, you'll be able to go downstairs and see me sat in my underwear playing Xbox. Like, Carl, for fuck's sake, get some work done.
Brad, do you want to do this later? I can't, mate. I've got too much editing to do. Brad, I watched you playing Overwatch for 3 hours last night. Do your fucking work.
So we'll be able to figure that out. But I feel like the channel is doing okay.
It's advancing.
It's about slowly.
When we hit
surely.
that 10k mark, we get to go to the next level of YouTube.
What even is the next
I don't
level?
know. I just remember when we first joined.
When
we
do
got
I get
an email.
away with like recording dead bodies? What point do we get famous enough to do that?
I think that's well into the future.
So I want to know. At what point, at what level of fame Am I allowed to just be an obnoxious, terrible human being and people will automatically defend me because they don't want to find a new YouTube channel to watch? So once we get to that point, some people are probably ask people, is there anything you want to see? Is there anything you want to see from the channel, or anything you want to see us do, or anything like specifically like us to like venture into specific areas like you'd like us to cover? So I feel like more people tune in for like fact videos about like movies and TV
The
shows.
movies ones do well. The history ones tend to do well as well.
So if you'd like us to refocus our efforts on a specific area of entertainment or history, like let us know about that. But
And then we'll completely ignore it.
yeah, pretty much.
Hey, okay, it's Dave back from By the Way, and as you can see, I'm in my test world. A little laggy because I am rendering a video right now, but I was looking for videos on the. Let me make this peaceful just so I don't have to deal with idiot slimes everywhere. I was looking for videos on collector arrays, and they all suck. So, I'm going to show you a better way, okay? A better setup. This. We're going to go like this. And that is the condenser that we want. The relays. We're going to go like this. Like that. Okay? The main thing you want is the condenser. Boop! Condenser. Make that first. That's what you want. That's what's going to give you the money. That is the money hog. Now, we're going to start with the energy collectors, the Mark 1s. These are the guys that you're going to get right off the bat. They're very easy. Not very easy. You still need like 9 diamonds or whatever, but very quick to make. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to go like this. We're going to go boop, boop. Very quick to make, and not a problem. You can make these Mark 1s very, very quickly. Okay. The antimatter relays. Oops. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go all the way around the condenser with the antimatter relays. Now you're like, ooh, it's not doing anything. Okay. Hang on. We're gonna go like this. Now this would be like in the floor of your house or something. Okay. Now these are the singles. Remember this. These are the singles. Okay. As you can see, that's starting to build up. Nothing happening there. We're gonna target, for the heck of it, let us target a diamond. Okay. Now we're targeting diamond. Now normally you would target red matter or something like that, something useful. So you're building this array. Okay, so you've got antimatter relays all around an energy condenser with collectors around every part of that. Okay? We're not done. Oops. There we go. We're going to put these on top too, because they do generate their own light. This guy's going to go right there. So they do generate their own light, so it's gonna generate light for that. Now you can use glowstone or you can use jack-o'-lanterns, whatever. I like glowstone because it kind of looks like what the whole pile is gonna be. Okay. I'm gonna put glowstone on all of these guys. Boom. So no matter where you are, you have full light level. Now you're gonna have to make it so that you can. I don't know if these guys generate light. Let's check. They do. So what I would do is I would go like this. This whole situation right here. I mean, they're still getting partial light, but it's okay. Okay. Now when we look in here, we're like, whoa, that is creating a diamond very quickly. Now remember, this is only the regular ones. Okay. These are the regular Mark 1s. That is the array. That's the build you're looking for, okay? So, eventually you'll build up to. Now look at. I mean, that's going. It's going decently fast. It's creating a diamond every couple of minutes, whatever. It's pretty good, right? Now, let's stop screwing around. We're not even mess with the M2s. We're gonna go right to the Mark 3s, okay? Goom, 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 goom. Like that, right? The collector M3s. Let's put them on there. This is after you've played for a little while and you've created a decent amount of EMC that you can afford to be dropping the big bucks for this much material. And we're going to create the same array. Boop. Okay. Same array. Same layout, everything. But boom. 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 Oops. Same array. Same layout. More power. We're looking at Mark 3s. Oops. We're not messing around. We're putting glowstone on them because we're not cheap. We're not using jack-o'-lanterns. We're not a cheapo. We have the money. We spent the time. We've got red matter like WOA. Okay. This is probably going to sit on the roof of your house. So you can just reach up underneath it and grab it. Excuse me. We're going to put these guys here. Now, this is not a cheap arrangement here, right? What we're going to do is when we're like, oh, look at, we have 2 diamonds. Wow, that is so many diamonds. Okay, now watch. Bing! Look at that guy. Look at that guy moving up the scale, okay? That's the fastest you're going to get. It's the best arrangement that I have found. Look at that guy moving. This is the Mark 1s. I mean, you're still getting a diamond pretty quickly. Probably quicker than what you're going to find them at. This is the Mark 3s. You guys not messing around. He's going. He's building. He's getting you some freaking diamonds. Okay? Now this is EMC sitting there. It's waiting. It's waiting for you to use it. It's waiting for you to just be awesome with it. Okay? Let's see what we got here. We got the. Let's see here. Whoa! Look at that. Yeah. Love this thing. Love it. Boom. Awesome. So, okay, this is Dave from By the Way, showing you some arrays with the energy collectors. Put this on top of your house, you reach up underneath, boom, you're like, whoa, 8 diamonds already, that's crazy. It's EMC, it's 8,000 EMC each. This guy's on number 2. So don't mess around, get down to the Mark 3s. This is the array you're looking at, okay? Put these guys all the way around it. You will have EMC that you don't even know what to do with. Okay? Alright. Thank you for watching. This has been another tutorial. This has been a energy collector tutorial, we'll call it. I am Dave from By the Way. Like always, good luck and have fun.
Greetings. It's towards the end of May 2016. I'm on Tekkit Legends on a multiplayer server that I don't own, just to prove that you can do this effectively on any server. And I am demonstrating a small and effective EMC farm. Mapped out on the ground is the entire footprint of the farm. Okay. Any item recipes I'm not going to go through. You can just use not enough items, for example. You can go to your inventory, type there, and click on the item you want to see, and it will show you the recipe. Okay. So we're going to put the output of this EMC farm here. That is a Energy Condenser Mark II. And then we need basic logistic pipes here, here, and then we leave 1, 2, and we need here, here, and here. Okay, a little bit of lag. And then we need to make this 2 higher, and this 2 higher. A lot of lag. There we go. Right. Now I'm going to put some of the actual things in there. Since we're using logistics pipes, we need the logistics power junction. That goes there. We're going to need some solar panels. And we're going to want to upgrade these solar panels. upgrade, transfer rate upgrade, efficiency upgrade, capacity upgrade. That's important actually. I'm going to grab some more of those. Virtually all the things that I'm using today are EMCable, so you can get an infinite stash of those pretty easily once you've got them in your alchemic tablet. Okay, so now we've laid down some basic logistic pipes. We need to take some Mark IV logistic pipes. Actually, we put one here, and then we need energy condensers here, 6 of them in a tower like this. Okay. In this energy condenser, we want to make high covalence dust. In this energy condenser, we want a diamond chest plate just before it breaks, and same in the one above it. And then in the other 3 condensers, we want a stackable item which is about 150,000 DMC. Emerald Block does pretty well. And this is just to group up the EMC before we send it to the output so that we don't overflow the output. Because this EMC farm makes a lot of EMC. So the next thing is we need to make 2 Mark V chassis. So you take 2 Mark IVs and grab 2 diamond chipsets, and there's the Mark Vs. And the Mark Vs go here. Like that. Okay. Then these 3, we're just going to fill all of these with quicksort modules. Now the part that actually does the EMC game. We put these 3 automatic crafting tables here, and then what these do is, and if we hit them with a wrench we can rotate them so that we face this way. So if you look from the output and the power junction that we put here, we have 2 sides to this farm. On the left side is the input, and on the right side is the output. So if I say input side or output side, you know which side I'm talking about. Alright, so here for the input here, we put diamond chests as the requested items on these basic pipes. For the crafting table, and here we put high covalence dust. I'll explain why we do all of this stuff later. Or right now even. So what we want to do basically is we take the broken diamond chest plates and craft them surrounded in high covalence dust, which fully and immediately restores it. And as you can see, that's 124 EMC going in, and it's 65,000 EMC coming out. So that is where we get our EMC gain here, because it takes virtually nothing and creates virtually a diamond block. So this layer of logistic pipes puts in the high covalence dust. This layer of basic logistic pipes puts in the damaged diamond chest plates. The quick sorters in each of here basically just push it out there. And then for anything that's left over, we want to get rid of it. We use void pipes for that. So if you jump to the top here and you put an extra, you must put an extra basic logistics pipe on top, and then your void pipes. The reason is because you need to be able to say default route for these, because otherwise nothing will go into the void pipes. So anything that somehow gets like pushed into the pipes but has nowhere to go will go into these void pipes and disappear and not bog down the server, which is very important. You've got to keep your admins happy. Okay. So we use chassis ones here because we're going to put extractors in each of these, and we're going to extract these restored diamond chests. Note that I don't believe extractors know the difference between restored diamond chests and damaged diamond chests, but I put the restored ones here just because that way when I look at it I can see what it's supposed to do, which is pull out restored diamond chests. But it pulls it out of the top face of these automatic crafting table Mark IIs, and that will be the fully restored chest plates. Okay, so back to here, we need basic logistic pipes to push items into the 3 condensers which supply the high covalence dust and the damaged chest plates. 1, 2, 3. So this is how the EMC farm is going to feed itself. It's going to take a little bit of its output and put it straight back into its input. We don't put default route for these. We just say we're going to use these particular, we're going to request these particular items. So then we use chassis Mark IIs, and we're going to put those on the other 3, which we configured to create emerald blocks, or whatever you like. And what this is going to do is take any of the overflow that is like the excess EMC, our actual output. So we're going to take these diamond chests, it's going to convert them into emerald blocks, and then we're going to extract using the extractor Mark IIIs, advanced extractor Mark IIIs. We're going to extract the diamond blocks that are created in these Mark II condensers. So what this does, if we just sent the overflow straight to the output chest, you'd find that sometimes if the server spikes, for example, you might end up with like a burst of items coming through, and they can overflow the output chest and end up just spewing items all over the ground, which is really bad. So there we go. We've got our sinks in place, and our there we go, extractors in place. So basically what we've set up is these chests provide broken diamond chest plates. This provides the high covalence dust. The quick sorters will they only look for like sinks in this case, which is what we've made these basic pipes do by requesting items. So those behave as item sinks, and the quick sorters just send items to where those items are being requested. And since we've put 8 of them in here, this happens much faster. We don't need them here because quick sorters can actually send whole stacks of items. So this when this is creating all the high covalence dust, the quick sorters will send whole stacks of those into these crafting benches. Whereas here we need a lot more because, well, they're single items because they don't stack because they're damaged chest plates. It'll go into here. These automatic Mark II crafting benches will, automatic crafting table Mark IIs, there you go, will create repaired chests, you'll see here. And I usually hit this as well. This just, I don't know, it'll try to make a whole stack of them. And I believe this stands for Ore Dictionary, I think. I'm not really sure. But it basically makes it so that it will take different items by the same name. That's all. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You can just ignore that. Probably wrong. Who knows? Right, and then we're going to use these extractors. The extractors are going to push it into the network. Unlike quick sorters, extractors will push it into the pipes regardless whether or not there's anywhere for it to go. So you have to make sure you can keep up, or that you can void pipe the excess. Whereas with quick sorters, they're supposed to stop once all targets are full. But because we're using so many quick sorters, we need the void pipes up here because there ends up being an excess, and that's fine. Over here, that's why we need these 3 outputs, because one energy condenser Mark II is not fast enough to capture all the EMC output of this. And then in here, we're going to put a red matter furnace. You can put whatever you want, but beware that this machine can generate like 2 million EMC per second. So with that, we should be about done. Important that you build this outside so that the solar panels can get sunlight and work. Okay, let's get a couple of bits of dark matter or something so that we can kick this off and see it in action. chest plates. Some high covalence dust. Lots of high covalence dust. Quick sorters are gearing up. Finding that they have things that the world wants. Sharing it with the world. So it's just a bit laggy because I'm on Wi-Fi right now playing on a server. So here you can see on this side the chest plates going in, and on this side the high covalence dust going in. And then if you look in these automatic crafting benches, you might have to take my word for it. They're crafting chest plates, but the extractors, they pull out stuff really fast. Anyway, the repaired diamond chests come out here. They go, they prioritize these 3 first because they have the item specified in as a requested item. And then anything that isn't used there goes into these 3 chests because these sinks are just configured as, whoops, default routes. I'm sorry. Default route. Gotta get your priorities right. Don't specify the chest in these 3, the top left 3. Okay. And then this needs to also, no, not have default route. This needs to request an emerald block. There we go. You're always going to forget something because there's a lot to remember. So, all right. These can be pretty hard to clean up when they go bad. A little bit of lag spike. Alright. So, the lag is not because of this machine. The machine's actually very efficient because it uses logistic pipes. It's just because I'm on Wi-Fi right now. But here you go. So the items go to these 3 chests first, which supplies the input side again, which is how this machine feeds itself. And then the other three chests up here, which provide emerald blocks, which just get extracted straight back out and get sent down to here. And now if we take a look, we can see that it generates a lot of EMC. A lot. So this number here is millions. Like I said, it's about 2 million EMC per second if you're not lagging. And even right now you can see it's about 2 million EMC per second. These are red matter furnaces. For an idea of actual red matter, 2 million EMC is about 4 red matter, a little bit more than 4 red matter. So this can generate about, I don't know, 5 red matter per second. And that is how you make a very compact, very efficient EMC farm. Like, subscribe, share, and all that sort of thing. Thanks very much for watching. And enjoy your absurd amounts of EMC.
What's up, YouTube? This is Madcock83, and welcome to the EMC Bible, your guide to creating tons of EMC from Project E in 1.710 of Minecraft. We're using a lot of mods. For this particular instance, I am using the DNS Tech Pack because that's what I use. But most of the mods in here, almost all of them, are from bigger mods that you'll find in probably every mod pack you play. There's only one thing that isn't, and I'll explain that later. First off, I wanted to show you a little power generation. Now, these are MudPie from a mod called Useful DNS that I actually make, and what it is a bowl and a dirt, and it makes a little mud pie that you can eat, and it fills up 10 hunger bars. This was made simply for people who don't really care for the food aspect of Minecraft. Me, I play a lot of modded Minecraft, and I'm into machinery and stuff like that. I really don't care for farming. So that's what that was for, and this will produce a ton of power from the food it makes. You could also use bread just by using a cobblestone generator into a condenser. Make you up some various types of food into a culinary generator from extra utilities, and that's a ton of power, especially starting off in the early stages of the game. Most of us in early generation of EMC will use a cobblestone generator, which is simply cobblestone generator, and use a world integration upgrade from extra utilities again. And the more world integration upgrades you use, the faster it will mine the cobblestone. The speed upgrades simply move it down the line faster. You can put as many of these as you want in there and, you know, do your thing. This one has been running for a long time, and a long time, and which means it's chewed up 286,000 plus pieces of cobblestone to make these diamonds. Later on in the game, there's the EMC Power Flower that's all using all Project E components. You have your collectors going into, they passively collect EMC excuse me, and drop it into a relay. These are all the tier 3 or Mach 3 versions, and the relay
KICU 968. I'm Stuff.
Energy condenser, and I think it's about 10 or 11 seconds you will have yourself a new diamond. And just simply you surround the condenser with relays, and then surround the relays with collectors, and there you go. Yay! Moving on, this
KICU 968.
TG4 or
Hello.
FDB maps. This used to be done with red power and was actually a lot quicker. It's not very useful as far as the EMC goes, but or the resources it takes to make it work. You got a little moose room stuck in there, and you can make a moose room with a philosopher's stone. And if you don't know how to do that, you should look it up. The activators are right-clicking with the bowls and producing mushroom stew. The mushroom stew is being pulled out and turned back into bowls because the mushroom has a EMC value of 67. The bowls have 3, so you get a bunch of bowls per mushroom stew. The excess that can't fit in there is going up here and making diamonds. Again, it's not super fast. It's a lot faster than a cobblestone generator is, but it's a fun little way of doing it. A little timer ticks everything on. I like these. I've used them before in 1.6.4. I just like them. They're very... I have a video on how fast these can actually go, so if you're playing Tekkit Classic or something along those lines from 1.2.5 of Minecraft, these things are extremely fast if you do them right, and I will link the video down here somewhere so you can see it. What do we have in here? There's a whole bunch of leftovers. This is a new one I've seen. Apparently this has been able to do this for a long time. I just never really thought about it. What you do is get yourself a golden pickaxe. Make yourself a golden pickaxe. It has 32 uses. You want to use it, go over here and mine you some stuff. Get it down to 1 durability. Take that and target it in your energy condenser with a flower around it. And they have an EMC value of 192. What Project E has is a repair talisman, which is what these are. You fill up a chest, a chemical chest full of them, except for the last 2 lines, and what these will do is repair your tool back to its original state. Well, its original state is 6152 EMC, and the broken one is 192, so that's a large gain. The only thing you need to do here is place a filter to only pull out the golden pickaxes, because you don't want to accidentally pull out these. You want the repair talismans to stay in there, and that piece of redstone is simply stopping it from working. Leave thought in. Let's just turn it always active. And here it goes. As soon as they come in, they're getting repaired and going right back out the door. With all the upgrades in here, I still think this could be a little faster. It seems to be repairing them faster than it's pulling out, but you know, you could use the transfer nodes we were using way over there. Those will go a lot faster. But anyway, it's making a fair amount of diamonds, as you see. I'd say you're probably getting 4 to 5 diamonds a second as it pumps in there. Probably more than that, actually. But this one is very quick, very fast, and produces a ton of EMC. If you can get the components to make one, you'll make your resources back in 30 minutes, probably less, and you could make more. Now this is an oldie. I don't know if we want to mess with that one. These 4 little setups here are all doing the same thing. There's just different machines from different mods, such as this one's from Ender.io, this one's from Thermal Expansion. These are both IC. This is an IC2 macerator. This is Advanced Machines Rotary Macerator. And what they do is take blaze rods, whatever you want to call it, sag mill them, pulverize them, macerate them down into blaze powder, and these two have a chance of a byproduct of sulfur, which also has an EMC, and it's a very simple setup. If I use the right tools, I could probably show you. This one in here is pulling out blaze rods, pulling them out, dumping them in here. Once it hits 64, the excess is going over into here to make diamonds. And of course, you need a capacitor to actually speed this up. This is the slowest of the bunch. It's got a creative engine. I'm using creative power in all this because the power creation for these machines is probably a different type of video. There's tons of ways to make power, but as you can see here, this machine is automatically outputting to its right side, which the blaze powders go back into here. If I can catch one. There we oh crap. Anyway, the blaze powder goes in, gets turned back into blaze rods. Let's see. Blaze. There we go. The blaze powder, 768. A blaze rod is 1536. So what you're doing is if you get 4 blaze powders, you're getting basically 2 rods back out of 1. So you're just doubling your output. This one does the exact same thing. The only difference is you're going to need these arguments to actually speed this up to be relatively worth a damn. And to not break holes in your wall. But this one is extremely quick and will produce a fair amount of EMC here. As you see, the diamonds are flying in. That's probably 2 to 3 to 4 diamonds per second. But yeah, just placing these back to shut them off. The difference between these two, the rotary macerator and the regular macerator, now it's a little different than it was back in the past. The macerators from IC2 are actually very upgradable, but you will definitely need the upgrades to get it to hold the power you need it to. We don't want no blood. And this little one is auto ejecting into here. See, it takes off fairly quickly and is producing way faster, and the benefit of a macerator over these two is it produces 5 blaze powders, so you're getting back 2.5 blaze rods to your 1. So it's a little quicker of a process, but it's definitely more expensive to get because most of IC2 stuff doesn't have an EMC value to begin with, and I'm just using some power converters to convert this RF into EU. Another thing I like about the macerators is the EU that it uses is less than the pull from the RF on these two machines. So it's much less power. The difference from the rotary macerator is it has to get up to speed. It has to get to 10,000 RPMs, and that takes it a while, so it's fairly slow starting off. And if you ever run into an issue where you lose power or this, for whatever reason, happens to get jammed, as soon as this stops pulling out, or you stop having stuff come in, the speed slows down and dies. These will start up right away and go fast as can be right off the bat. Now what we do have over here is the exact same setup with the polarizer that's out here. It's this same setup, just done 4 different times around the same energy condenser. I have another video, which I'll try to put somewhere up here for you to see, of a self-sustaining one of these, power included. Yeah, power included. It'll do everything itself, feed itself power-wise, and make a ton of our EMC. Here we got 531,000 in a matter of what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. About 3 seconds, you're getting 500,000 EMC. Again, I don't like to really just make these just to get free stuff in my world. It's more of a challenge to see how fast I can build the EMC and the amount of EMC I can build at a time. These over here is part of the mod that I was talking about you probably won't ever see. This is using Useful DNS, which is a mod I made for the DNS Tech Pack specifically. And how these here work is if you were to make yourself an unobtainium mixture and right-click on an unobtainium furnace, you get a little blindness for a little while, but you get an unobtainium ingot. The ingot itself is worth a lot more than the mixture. And what this machine down here is doing is simply popping in an unobtainium mixture, making the ingot, pulling it out, turning it back into a mixture. And this, let's try this. Get us a stack upgrade and see how much faster that pulls. Yeah. Anyway, it's doing it on both sides. It's really not, it is a exploit, which will probably be fixed now that I've shown people this, but it produces a ton of EMC. This one is a more self-sustaining one, and it's producing diamond blocks at an alarming rate, because there is so many of these built up. This is just using the logistics pipes to automatically keep itself fed, and it's just pulling across and making diamond blocks, which are then making octuple compressed cobblestone. So yeah, that's making a ton of EMC. Let's go dump off some of this we don't need. This is a newer one that's turning into one of my favorite ones. Here we have a flower, which is producing books, and they're being dropped into Mine Factory loaded auto enchanters. Now I've tried this on all the settings. If you go up to 30 and try to enchant 30, it takes a lot longer to do the work, and you get about the same enchants anyway. It's anywhere from, let's say, 2100 EMC to 5000 EMC based on the enchant that it actually drops on there. 4 to 5 go really fast. As you can see here, the work on them's not too bad. And each time it's ticking, it's actually pulling them out faster. Let's see if we can grab a few of them. There we go. See, that one's got 4,000. That's 25. That's 25. That one's 3. And it's simply dropping them in here. And it's creating diamond blocks. And this is very, very stackable because one flower could support, I don't know, 10 machines on each side, so 20 total. The only thing here that is important you need is mob essence. And you can produce this in several ways. Building a farm out of oreberry bushes and putting them into an autonomous activator over there. We'll right-click them. If you were to take that fluid that it collects from, say, a vacuum hopper and drop it onto a Mine Factory loaded sewer, that'll turn it into essence. And I mean, there's many ways to do this. Mob farms are great. There's tons of ways to make the essences, but you will need that to do it. It's a very, very fun build, and once it becomes very stackable, it's kind of fun. It's fun to build. I have one in my personal Let's Play, and it's fun. It was fun to build. It was very, 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 very time consuming. It's fun. This was supposed to be where I was going to show you a EMC super farm. from a past video I have. I'll just go ahead and link it, and it'll wind up somewhere on the screen here if you want to collect it. But I changed my mind and decided to build it and improve upon it. So that's what this building is. We just walked by. As you can see, it's very massively tall, and there's a reason for that. This setup is basically what we've got. The only thing down here, we're just using another energy bridge from power converters to turn RF into EU, and this is going up here and powering 4 rotary macerators with 6 overclockers in there. If you put another one, you put 7 overclockers in there, the machines explode. At least rotary macerators do. And what this is doing, this is a retriever node, and what it's doing is pulling out the blaze rods, blaze powder. The blaze powders are going here to make blaze rods, and going through the center down here, refilling the machines, and the leftover blaze rods get dumped into here, and it's making a fair amount of EMC. This one's been running for a minute too, so as you can see, that's all EMC, building it pretty quickly. And that's from one little setup such as this. If you could find like one of those, would easily power this, and that would be a lot of free EMC. Well, we've taken that to the next level. And, this machine, let's just take a look at the actual machine itself first. Again, I'm using creative power to power this, but there are rows of those same designs. 1, 2, 3, what do we got here? There's 20 of what was outside in one of these rows, and there are 8 levels. As you can see, it just keeps going up. Takes an incredibly long time. This was, of course, built in creative. I have built something like this non-creative. The size, the scope of it was not the same. It was basically, I would say, it may have been this level may have been the size. I don't want to say it was smaller because I don't think I did the center part anyway. It was just 4 on the outside of each one. Basically, they're all being powered from EU. They're all dumping their extras into a dimensional transceiver, or you could do this with Tesseract. This is just the one I chose. I made some ultimate solar panels, which produce a massive amount of EMC, and that's what's running that side. And these are, I think there's 63 million EMC per tick. It's the EMC. It's the highest EMC value of anything I know of. It's higher than double compressed cobblestone. Well, each one of those, each dimensional anchor, the channel they're on, Blaze 2, Blaze 3, they're each 2 levels going into one of these. They drop down and create septuple compressed cobblestone, which is 4.7 million, and they produce one of those cobblestone every 4.5 to 5 seconds. So that's 4 of them here, all dumping in. They all get pulled out and put into here to make the ultimate solar panel, which is 64 million. And I put out a calculator just to see, if you can imagine, that's billions of EMC. At this rate, the way the machine runs, you're looking at 3.8 million EMC per second, 229 million per minute, and 13.7 billion EMC per hour. So if you ran the same for an hour, you'd have almost 14 billion EMC. Now, like I said, this is built in creative, and I don't know how practical. There are some people that I've seen on YouTube and in forum posts that are insane and would take the time to build this, because you have to set all 4 of these down in a checkerboard pattern. There's actually room where you could put some more here. Very important, if you were to build this setup, make sure you power it from each side. I don't think the extra connections are really helping me, but the way EU runs through its lines isn't the same as RF, and they'll tend to run out of power on this end. So just putting one on each end won't really use any more power. It'll just keep them from losing so much across the line. But like I said, somebody could very well build this, you build them in a checkerboard pattern. You have to place exactly 6 overclockers in each one of these. Or if you put 7, they'll explode, which happens several times while building this. You don't have to use a retriever here. My first builds had just transfer nodes here, but you had to put 4, and then you had to put 4 sets of speed upgrades in them. Instead, I just chose to do it here and let the one retriever pull out everything. And then do that several times on one layer, and then continue up. I used MC-Edit to actually copy and paste these up here. I do have plans to actually build one of these legitly. I don't know if I'm going to use the same setup, but honestly, after the first 4 layers, it's not really producing any faster than it was, because I originally done this with just the 4 layers, and I don't think it really sped up. I think it may have sped up half a second on producing one of these. With the extra 4 layers, like I said, there's 8 total. Really, 4 layers is enough. Really, one layer, if you were to build this, would be more EMC than you would ever need in an actual game situation. But yes, I figured you guys would want to take a look. I'd love to see anybody else's designs. I scoured the internet and other places to find kind of creative EMC generation farms type, deals in 1.7.10. I found a lot from way back in 1.2.5, but these are some of my favorites. Pretty much all of these were not created by me. I've seen these other places. This one is, however, this one was my design, and as far as I know, produces the fastest amount of EMC in 1.7 that I have seen. So I'm calling world record on myself. If anyone knows a faster way, let me know. Or has built a faster one, please. Again, I would love to see other people's creations. Leave me the videos if I can't find them. But as far as I know, that's a lot more EMC than you guys have. So build it. Somebody build it legitly and send it to me. I'd love to see it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. It's Madcock83. Have a good day.
I have no idea how to react to this other than saying, look! Just look at this! Hello everybody, Dr. Darok here, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Let's Play Tekkit Legends. Now you'll see that I'm standing in the gaping mouth here of my giant skull entrance facade thing to my base, and I have an exciting announcement to make. A couple of weeks ago, I announced a shout-out competition to name this mountain thing, I guess, volcano, entrance, whatever, the giant skull here. Okay, I wanted it to be something kind of thematic, related to the skull, but at the same time related to the volcano, and someone had an answer, like, right off the bat. I think it might have been, like, one of the first suggestions that just stuck with me, and so I'm excited to announce. Oh, by the way, before I make the announcement, though, of course, if you'd like an opportunity to have your name posted in my world, then all you've got to do is make sure you hit the like button on this video. If I hit 50 likes on this video, I will be doing another shout-out competition that is going to be even more awesome, and I'll build something else that may or may not be more awesome. I mean, this is pretty awesome to begin with. But yeah, so if you'd like more shout-out competitions, make sure you hit like on this video, and if it's almost to 50, maybe you can share it with your friends, introduce them to the channel, and hopefully get them to like it too. So without further ado, I would like to announce the winner of the shout-out competition, and it is Magic Venom, who suggested the name Death Mountain, inspired by the Legend of Zelda series. So, which of course is a series that is near and dear to my heart. And so, yeah, Death Mountain. Thank you, Magic Venom, for that. I really appreciate your participation. And of course, throughout the video, I'm sure that I'll put up some comments from other people who also suggested potential names. So, with all of that out of the way, there is something very important that we've got to take care of. Let's get on in here. So, obviously, I've got these transmutation tables. Let me just grab this here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, and I've got a number of different things that I do with the Project E-Mod. And so today, I'm going to be showing you guys a little tip from one of my YouTube subscribers, Matt L., who left this just amazing, fantastic tip for me about something that I could do to increase my EMC output significantly. And most of the stuff in my inventory here, other than like these things and this stuff, are all geared towards making this happen today. So, the first thing that I'm going to need is an energy condenser. So I'm going to take the energy condenser and we're going to just place it right here. Okay, and I'm going to take that energy condenser and place 2 energy collectors next to it. Now, obviously, you can upgrade it a little bit further with more energy collectors, but for now, this should definitely do the trick. However, I don't yet have what I need to place up here for this to work. However, before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and set up the rest of the system. So I'm going to place a wooden transport pipe right here, and I didn't actually grab another transport pipe on top of that, but let's go ahead and do that now. I'm just going to grab gold because why not? I'm going to place a gold transport pipe here. And then we're going to pipe that into an alchemical chest. Okay. From that alchemical chest, we're actually going to create something else, which I need to go grab some stuff from my transmutation table to make this happen real quick. So let's grab a piece of glass here, which I forgot, and go to the Philosopher's Stone, press C to open the crafting grid. And I'm going to take 2 wooden gears and a block of glass to make advanced wooden transport pipe. I'm only going to need 1, so let's go ahead and just get rid of the rest of these. And so the advanced wooden transport pipe is then going to pipe out this direction into another energy condenser, into which I will be placing blocks of diamond. So block of diamond right there. Now, at this point, you might already be very confused about what's going on here, in which case, don't worry, okay? I will be alleviating your confusion and any concerns. So let's see here. I want to power this redstone engine, which of course is not really going to be doing anything because there's no items in here. And I'm going to place another redstone engine right here and power that as well, which of course is also not going to do anything. But at this point, the system is thoroughly set up and should work just fine. Now, of course, there are faster methods than using the redstone engine, and in fact, I think that I should use something faster than that, but for now, it will do just to show proof of concept. Now, I've got something that I need to place in this chest here, but we'll get to that. The next thing that I want to do, before we move on to anything else, is I'm going to need to make a golden pickaxe. So we're going to make a golden pickaxe here. And I'm actually going to, let's go down into the engine room briefly here. There we go. Oh my. My stockpile of energy is actually not totally full. Huh. I'm kind of surprised by that. Oh wow, I've actually got energy going into all 5 of my power teleport pipes too. Oh, that's neat. Okay, cool. So I have obviously maxed out the capacity with 64 Stirling engines here of the thing that I was working on over there up in my main base, which of course I'll remind you guys what that is later if need be. So I'm just gonna take this golden pickaxe here, and I'm gonna mine a bunch of things and wear it down. And basically, the reason for this is so that we can produce more golden pickaxes at a lower cost. So let's see, what are we at? We're at 30 damage. I want one more. There we go. 31 damage. That means it costs 192 EMC, or it's worth 192 EMC, that is to say. All right, and that should be pretty nice, right? So here's what we need to do. We need to make. Let's see here. Hold on. You know what? First of all, I need to get rid of this pickaxe for a second by placing it into some sort of chest or something. So let's see. Let's just grab a chest and place it here, and I'm going to put my golden pickaxe in there. So the next thing that I need to do, and finally we'll be almost nearly done, is I need to make a repair talisman. That's a piece of paper 2 string and a bunch of covalence dust. So if I just grab, do I have paper in here even? It's a good question. I'm not sure if I do or not. I don't believe I do, actually. I've got string. I've got sugarcane. So, I mean, I figured it out. I got it all taken care of. But let's see here. I'm also going to need 2 of each covalence dust. So where are those? Have I got the covalence dusts in here, or do I need to remake those? No, I haven't. Okay. So I need a charcoal and 8 cobblestone. Then I need iron and redstone. And finally, diamond and coal. So let's see here. Charcoal and cobblestone. And then I need redstone, iron, coal, diamond. Where's diamond? Diamond. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up my Philosopher's Stone here. Let's combine first my cobblestone and charcoal to make low covalence dust, redstone and iron, coal and diamond. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead. Can I do this? Does that work? Okay, cool. First, though, let's grab these paper out of here. String, low covalence dust, medium covalence dust, high covalence dust. And there you have it. That's a repair talisman. So the repair talisman actually restores 1 durability to your items occasionally. As you can see, my carpenter's hammer, actually the number next to it, the damage number, is going down, and it's slowly filling back up with durability. Now, of course, it doesn't affect things like this, for example, but it does affect this ruby sword. Okay. So, let's get rid of all this stuff that I do not need right now. And I'm going to place this right here, and you'll see that I've now learned how to make them. Okay, now if I withdraw a whole bunch of these into my inventory, you'll see that actually my it doesn't really speed it up in my inventory. Okay, but in the alchemical chest here, it does. It has the same effect. It works the way that you would expect it to based on what I've just shown you. Okay, and yeah, so let's grab a few more of those. Wherever they might have gone. There we go. Okay, perfect. That should be enough, I think. And so basically, yeah, what we've got here is pretty cool. Hello? What's going on with my redstone engine here? Oh yeah, my advanced wooden transport pipe is full of redstone flux and thus does not work. Okay, so let's take this damaged golden pickaxe back out of here. I'm going to place that in this chest here, and you'll see that it is quickly reproducing the damaged golden pickaxe. They are then being piped over here, being instantly repaired. Basically instantly. I mean, it's almost instant. Then I'm going to have to put that there, and you'll see that there are... Let me just remove that. You'll see that they're all being piped over here. Now, if I retrieve this block of diamond and set this up one more time, let's place this in here, you'll see that it is basically creating blocks of diamond at the rate of like 10 seconds per block of diamond. And this whole rig is insane. There is nothing I've ever seen that compares to this. So I've got another sign here, okay, and we're going to name this rig. And I've got a name for it already. Since Matt L suggested this to me, I'm gonna call it Matt's Quantum Unlimited EMC System. ST. There we go. Yeah. ST are both from system. Yeah. So this is Matt's quest, the Quantum Unlimited EMC System. And effectively, I am creating EMC at a rate that is comparable to nothing that you've ever seen before. So, yeah. Now, if I grab a couple of extra redstone engines here and a couple of additional levers. Where are my levers? Lever, hey, lever, come here. Hey, lever. So let's go ahead and place another one here. Should that be on? That's on. Okay, I thought so. Another one here. I guess I didn't need the lever. Now I'm actually increasing the rate at which these things are being moved from chest to chest, and that's going to increase my overall productivity. So yeah, this is incredible. As you can see, I've already created almost 1 million EMC worth of blocks of diamond. So at this point, I effectively have more EMC than I could possibly ever use. There's just no way I could ever use all of the EMC that I'm generating here. And that, to me, is utterly insane. There's no other words for it other than utterly insane, super crazy, overpowered. It does not take that much in resources to actually create this system either. So that is something to think about. Now, of course, as you can see, it's actually starting to operate a little bit faster than it can remove those. So what I'm going to do is actually add another engine on the other side here, like this. And this one I will need a lever for. So we're going to place a lever right here. Now I've got 3 engines over here compared to 2 engines over here. And you'll also see that now finally I've eaten through all of the EMC that I had built up in my energy collectors. So it should slow down quite a lot and be slightly more manageable. As you can see, it's now actually eating away at these golden pickaxes. But also, you can see I've already got more than a quarter of a stack of blocks of diamond, over 1.3 million EMC. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set a timer here. I'm looking at my clock. It is exactly 6:30. So I'm going to stop recording for 15 minutes. I'll be back at 6:45 my time. And we're going to see exactly what we've done in that time frame. Now, of course, I'm going to take out these blocks of diamond here. So 15 minutes is starting right now. And we'll see exactly what's created. However, I'm also going to up the ante a little bit by placing yet another energy collector on this chest here and increasing my production rate. So yeah, we're going to see exactly what happens in 15 minutes. I will be right back. And, well, it'll be instant to you, obviously, but it'll take me 15 minutes. So, yeah. Talk to you guys soon. All right, and we are back. And in about 30 seconds, it will have been 15 minutes since I last said farewell. So, what has happened in the meantime? Well, mostly I got rid of some junk from my inventory. I also removed one of these redstone engines because I no longer needed it. As you can see, it's still producing at the exact same rate as it was previously. And yeah, we've got about 10 seconds left, so I'm just killing time by spitting my voice at you. But here we are. 3, 2, 1. What we've got here is nearly 3/4 of a stack of diamond block, which totals 3.2 million EMC. Now, if that's 15 minutes worth, that means that you've got 4 of that in an hour, which is to say that you earn roughly, this is just an estimate, roughly 13 million EMC an hour letting this setup just chug along. So yeah, incredible gains. Absolutely, there's nothing that compares to this. So sincere thank you to you, Matt. However, now I'm a little bit worried that I might run out of things to do in this series long before I thought I would, because at this point I've basically got unlimited resources in my resource pool. And within 3 or 4 hours of just letting this rig continue going, I could get the best set of armor and all of the best upgrades in the game, in the entire mod pack, all at once. So yeah, that's slightly troubling, in fact. But regardless, let's take this and just slap it in the transmutation table here. And what I want to do is actually make some of these red matter bits, if I can. In fact, I'll start with the helmet. So we're going to need to make a dark matter helmet and then surround it with red matter. And so that's not going to be hard. We're just going to need 5 dark matter, 5 red matter. All right. Open up our crafting grid here, and we'll make the dark matter helmet first, and then the red matter helmet. Now, this thing is pretty awesome. Oh yeah, all of my armor is fully repaired because I had the repair talismans. That's interesting. Now, the red matter helmet looks pretty sick, honestly. Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? And it's also, if I recall correctly, it does not have durability. So this is basically an infinite helmet that will never degrade or fail. And that is pretty impressive, I've got to say. In fact, you know what? I kind of want to just carry one of these with me all the time now. I had no idea that the repair talisman actually worked in the inventory until I did the testing prior to this video. So yeah, that's pretty impressive in my book. And yeah, this is just incredible. There's like not much else to say about it except for wow. So the next thing I'm gonna do here is grab a couple more dark matter and a couple of red matter, and we're gonna power down the dark matter hammer, and we're going to open up the crafting grid. I'm gonna place dark matter above and below it and red matter like this, and we're gonna make the red matter hammer. Now the red matter hammer is even cooler than the dark matter hammer. In fact, you know what? I need to, there we go, learn that, learn this, there we go. I can reproduce these things if they're ever lost somehow. The red matter hammer is pretty impressive, so let's go check it out while we let this whole system continue to run. And hopefully you guys are going to like what you see. So I'm going to take my red matter hammer now. We're just going to, hopefully I don't die this time. I don't know what happened last time. I died coming through this water. It didn't make much sense to me. So yeah, anyways, the red matter hammer, incredibly powerful. So let's just, I guess I should go somewhere a little bit further away from my ladder. That way I'm not, accidentally lighting up the whole area and flooding my, thing with stuff. Let me, in fact, take out the void ring that I've got and turn this on. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Whatever just happened there. I kind of just sort of did that to... Oh, all of my food! Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Put bread on the blacklist. There we go. Okay. And so with that activated, we should be good to... Get out of my way. Oh my. As you can see, I can pretty much just, like, punch through the world. It's completely effortless to destroy large amounts of stone and things like that. So what can it do in terms of big areas? Check that out. That is just amazing. As you can see, it just decimates entire sections of the map in seconds. pretty impressive. There's like not much that. Whoa! Holy smokes! You gotta be careful though. Sometimes. Hey, diamonds. I want those. Gold. Gold. Yes, gold. As you can see, it's gotten dark now because I don't have torches actually on me to light this up with. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you get the idea. Pretty intense amount of item stuff going on here. I'm just destroying the heck out of the world. And obviously that's got its perks and its flaws. Of course, I'm immune to lava, so I don't really even have to worry about this. I could just sort of walk right through it, honestly. Hey, look, there's bedrock. Hello, lava curtain. It's a lava curtain. So yeah, pretty crazy, right? I mean, that is just epic. And it's even more powerful than the already incredibly powerful Black Matter Hammer. And combined with a Void Ring, it just gives you intense amounts of power. Ouch. That hurt. Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, so there we go. I'm done with that for now. I wonder what the spoils look like. Let's see what we've gotten here as a result of this. We've picked up some diamonds. We've got a whole bunch of gold, iron ore, yellowite, gold ore, all the different ores. I mean, we've just got tons of ores, and it's pretty impressive. So let's turn this void ring off. Oh, hello. Thank you for returning all of the cobblestone. Ugh, great. Let me get rid of all that, actually. Put all that stuff in here. There we go. And I guess now we can head back up to the base, right? Yeah, let's head back up to the base. Let me just power down the hammer first, because that is just way too intense. You know, you don't want to be caught on the wrong end of that thing. There's no question about the fact that that would be deadly, or at least very destructive if used in the wrong place, such as the inside of your base. So we want to avoid that. Yeah, so I think that's good for now. Let's just go on up here. And as you probably already know, there's this other system that I had that I was using to generate EMC by creating teleport pipe. And I think it's now pretty much completely useless in comparison to the system that I've just set up. In fact, I could set up multiples of this other system side by side, and oh my, see, look at this, it's all red, because I'm not putting out enough power anymore for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, but whatever. I've got a bunch of item teleport pipes in here. As you can see, I've got almost 2 million EMC worth of item teleport pipe. However, compared to the other thing that I've got going on over here, that's nothing, because that is over the course of probably an hour or 2 hours worth of running that system, whereas I've probably made just as much EMC just in the time that I've been away, or a greater. Yeah, about the same amount. So yeah, pretty intense. Oh, and that's why everything is low, because I'm all out of power in here. I only have these two still running. So yeah, what to do about this? What to do? Well, I'm probably just gonna do a bunch of Aeternalis fuel. So we're gonna refill all of my engines here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 9. There's 12. And there's 16. Okay, very good. So let's actually split this up into 16s. There we go. Okay, perfect. And let's start over on this side, because why not? So anyways, yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's episode. I love big game-breaking, crazy exploits like this. It's always fun whenever someone tells me, hey, there's a totally overpowered thing that you've completely overlooked. You should totally look into it, because, you know, it's gonna just blow everything else that you've done out of the water. because it really helps me to learn new things, and that's really what I like the most about playing Minecraft, is learning new things. You can never run out of things to learn about modded Minecraft, because if you ever learn every single thing about every mod in a single mod pack, you can always move on to another mod pack with new mods. Or wait for some mod developer somewhere to make a new mod that you've never played before. Like, it's just an unlimited journey of discovery. And that's probably my favorite thing about modded Minecraft. There's always something new to learn that you've never even experienced. And it's all about the experience, you know? And as long as you make it a good experience and one that you enjoy, it's just great. In fact, I don't know if I've ever really had a bad experience playing Minecraft, to be honest with you. Especially modded Minecraft, because, you know, there's just so much to do, and if you run out of stuff to do, you can just make something up. You know? It is the ultimate sandbox game. So, yeah. I don't know what the point of that whole little rant thing was, but I hope that you guys relate. I hope that you like Minecraft for similar reasons, and if not, if you like Minecraft for a totally different reason than what I've just said, then feel free to leave your opinion in the comments section down below about why you think that Minecraft is such a great game that you're willing to watch someone else play it on YouTube. I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, there's not that many games, in my opinion, that are good enough to watch other people play them, but Minecraft is on that list. So there we go. There's another half a stack of diamond block. I'm up to 4.7 EMC, as you can see, and I can totally make I can almost make the red matter chest plate. I really want to just wait for the red matter chest plate, actually. So why don't we get a couple more diamond blocks over here, and hopefully, you know, we'll get more stuff. Come on. How much do I need? Let's see here. I've got 4.74. I need 4.84. So just one more diamond block and I should be good to go. There we go. All right. So now what we need to do is pull out 8 dark matter. There we go. And 8 red matter. Whoops. Things are moving around on me. Come on. There we go. 8 red matter. Just like this. Pull up the crafting grid. And let's do... There we go. Dark matter chest plate. And then, boom. We've got a red matter chest plate. Let's store this bad boy in here for future use. And replace the iron chest plate that I've got on now for the dark matter chest plate. As you can see, that one looks pretty awesome as well. And yeah, so thanks so much for watching, guys. That's going to be it for today's episode. Don't forget to like this video if you would like more shout-out competitions and or for this series to continue. At this point, I'm not sure how I can beat this contraption. I don't think there's anything that's more productive in terms of creating, at least if you're looking in terms purely of EMC, I don't know that there's anything more efficient or productive than this. This looks to be like probably the best EMC generation method in the entire mod pack. But if you have something that if you have a method that would prove me wrong, if you have something to the contrary of that statement, then just let me know in the comments section, and I will totally implement that as well, so long as it's not prohibitively expensive or time-consuming. So, but I mean, for how compact this is, and how much EMC it requires to get started, and basically just the whole general idea of it, it's perfect. And by the way, if you don't know why this works, basically gold items have extremely low durability, but gold itself has pretty high EMC. So but the thing is that items that are basically items lose EMC value as they lose their durability, for the sole purpose that if you took, you know, an almost gone golden pickaxe and placed it in the transmutation table, they don't want you to be able to basically just instantly create a new one out of the EMC from the one you already have. So it's sort of proportional, divided up based on the EMC. So whenever you get it down to really low EMC, you can create a bunch that are really low EMC for low cost, pump them over here. Because of their low durability, all these repair talismans combined pretty much instantly repair it back to full durability, and therefore the full EMC value of 6,152, and then it's pumped over here. So basically, I am like quadrupling or probably octupling or even greater the amount of EMC that my 3 energy collectors produce per second overall whenever you add everything together. Because, you know, obviously it takes 1, 2, 3-ish seconds for it to create each of these golden pickaxes, and then really the whole system, you know, it moves it over here, and it is actually, instead of just 192 EMC, over 5,000, over 6,000, isn't it? 6,152. Yeah, so it's basically like, actually, I would say that it's probably increasing my EMC output of compared to just an energy collector and energy condenser by 30 times. It's probably 30 times faster in terms of raw EMC output per hour, which is insane. I mean, you don't need more than that. I can't imagine what kind of thing you would need that you'd have to produce more EMC than that. It's insane. So yeah, anyways, thanks so much for watching, everybody. This has been Dr. Darok here. I'm so glad that you guys decided to tune in today and you got to enjoy today's episode, which I believe I'm going to title the Quest of Death Mountain, to implement both of the things that I took care of today. And if you've got any suggestions for what to do on the next episode, you just let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter if you've got them, or just subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you should do that now because it's awesome. This is the best channel, and you guys are what make it the best. I mean, just look at this. You know what? I didn't make this up. I didn't come up with this. This is Matt. Matt did this. Subscriber just left me a message saying, hey, this is how you do this. It's epic. You should try it. Do it on a test world. And I'm just like, okay, sure. And I did. And then I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to put it in a video. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. The Facebook and the Twitter things, they're on screen right now. If you want to go look at those places and connect with me in those areas on the social medias. And I will catch you guys next time. Alright guys, I'm back. I know that the video was supposed to be over just then, okay? But I've got something incredible to show you that adds on with what I was doing already, and I just want to put this out there. So yeah, if you haven't liked the video already and you appreciate this little tip I'm about to give you, then make sure you hit like on the video. Okay, so what I've got here is the Dark Matter Pedestal. And the Dark Matter Pedestal costs a total of 4.6 million EMC. And on said Dark Matter Pedestal, I've got an item called the Watch of Flowing Time. Now, the Watch of Flowing Time, when placed on the Dark Matter Pedestal, will give nearby blocks 18 bonus ticks every tick, which essentially means that each block near it will operate 19 times faster than usual. So I set this up not knowing whether it was going to work with all of these individual items or not, this whole setup, but the whole setup is compact enough that the entire setup is affected by the Watch of Flowing Time. Now, you just shift right click with an open palm to open this and place whatever you want in there. I can take the, Watch of Flowing Time out or whatever, put it back in. Okay, now if I right click, you're gonna see something crazy. Look at this. You see this? You see what's going on right here? Okay. According to my calculations, right now I am generating roughly 3.5 to 4 million EMC per minute. As you can see, diamond blocks were not quite doing the trick, so I've switched to red matter blocks, and I've got 20 million EMC worth of red matter blocks in my energy condenser right now. If I left this running for an hour, it would probably produce more than a stack of red matter blocks, which is insane. The whole thing is insanity. I have no idea how to react to this other than saying, look! Just look at this! I'm really shocked by this. I'm stunned, in fact. and you can see that the entire thing is just going way too fast to even, like, keep track of what's going on. But obviously, there is just way too much. This is insane. It's too much. It's insane. I can't even. I'll catch you next time. That's amazing! I love it! Okay. And of course I'm fire immune and stuff too, so yeah. Oh my. Oh dear, look at what I've started. Come on, Doc, be responsible! Hello everybody, Dr. Darok here, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Let's Play Tekkit Legends. Now, on today's episode, I'm a Steve skin again, which is strange. Of course, I've got it hidden by this red matter armor, but, you know, it's weird. It only happens on this mod pack. But anyways, on today's episode, we're going to be fooling around with Project E. We're going to be making a lot of upgrades and a lot of cool things. I'm going to be showing off some of their features, and then we're going to be taking some epic battle armor from Project E and facing off with the Wither to demonstrate just how powerful this armor is. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, you might remember last time I set up this EMC generation method here, and of course if I activate this dark matter pedestal, you'll see that it goes rather quickly, very fast in fact, so fast that it's hard to even keep track of how fast it is. And I've had this running while I prepped for this episode, and you'll see I've got lots and lots of EMC waiting in the wings. Basically like 200 million EMC worth of red matter blocks in here. So we're good to go on EMC. I can totally finish up everything that I want to do in terms of EMC. Look at that. Just look at that number. That's so much EMC. But anyways, you'll also notice that in between episodes I did finish my red matter armor, but is it really finished? Because you see, the thing is, the red matter armor has one further upgrade called gem armor, okay? And in order to make that, we're going to need some pretty crazy amounts of EMC. First of all, this is a Klein Star Omega right here. You see this guy? It's made by combining, whoops, I pressed R and it reorganized my inventory. Hang on, there we go. Okay, Klein Star Omega is made out of 4 Klein Star Spheres, which are made out of 4 Klein Star Veer, 4 Dre, 4 Zwei, 4 Ein, which is made out of a diamond, and 8 Mobius Fuel, which essentially has the EMC of 3 diamonds. So yeah, the Klein Star Omega has an EMC value of 25 million, and actually, if I see these Klein Stars, they're basically EMC batteries. Alright, so you'll see the Klein Star Veer has 3.2 million EMC stored in it. If I take my Klein Star Omega, I can actually store lots of EMC in there. 51 million and 200,000. 51,200,000 EMC, bringing the total EMC value of the Klein Star Omega up to 76,365 something or other, whatever, who cares. But fortunately in Project E, I do not need to fill them first, but what I do need is 4 of them. Okay? So we're going to take 4 of these Klein Star Omegas here, and we're going to use those. Now, there are a few other things that I want to show as well in the meantime. I'm going to grab this black hole band. I need one of these. And a watch of flowing time. I'm going to need one of those. And let's see here. Where's the other thing I need? I need a few more of these guys. Where are they? Swiftwolf's Rending Gale. Going to need 2 of those. Of course, I've got 1 already, so I can actually get rid of that. Okay. So, before I use those, though, I'd like to show you what they can do. So, as you can see, I've got this Klein Star Veer charged up with EMC. That's a good thing. And that means that I can do all sorts of cool things. For example, with the Swiftwolf's Rending Gale, okay, I actually have survival mode flight. Look at this. So the Swiftwolf's Rending Gale essentially gives you flight and immunity from fall damage, okay? and it can also be used as a force field that repels any entities. So as you can see, it will be dark very soon. Oh, nope, it's morning. Never mind. I lied. But yeah, so the Swift Wolf's Rending Gale, you'll see it's yellow if I'm not flying, and it's blue if I am flying. If I right-click, it turns red, okay, indicating that the thing is activated. Hey, you stop raining. Stop raining right now. There we go. That's the use of the Vulcanite amulet, by the way. Shooting it into the sky causes it to stop raining. And you'll see that if I start flying while the repulsion field is activated, it actually turns purple. But anyways, there's a spider right here to test this on. So let me just nudge closer to this guy. You'll see that the spider is repelled from me and can't get anywhere close to me. Okay? So if I turn it off, spider can move freely. Come on, Mr. Spider. Hey, what are you waiting for? Yeah. Spider can move freely. Turn it back on, he gets repelled again, okay? So it also works on projectiles and all sorts of things. So pretty cool stuff right there. All right. The next thing that I want to demonstrate is the Watch of Flowing Time. So let's see. If I right-click with it, you know what? I don't actually know how this works, but I can set time control mode to fast forward, rewind, or off. So if I set it to rewind, time control mode is rewind, and you'll see the sun is actually setting. The time is actually going backwards. And even though we just watched the sun rise, it's actually going down at quite a quick pace. Now if I turn it off, you'll see it goes back to normal, and I can also set it to fast forward, which will cause time to just speed by. Okay, so there's that and its functions. Now, of course, I showed you what it does on the Dark Matter pedestal. Now, that's pretty crazy, of course, but, you know, it does have other functions. You already know what the Black Hole Band does. Essentially, it just means that I turn into a big magnet. So if I turn this on and then I throw some items... Oh, whoops. Well, if I get close to these items that I threw, you'll see they get sucked right back into my inventory. So let's turn that back off. Oh, hey, you know what? This has a charge bar. So as you can see, it's set in fast forward mode right now. If I press V and charge it up, you'll see that the sun moves even faster. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff right there. And it's a pretty cool thing. Okay, let's just put it that way. Now, the Swift Wolf's Rending Gale stores EMC and then consumes it as you're flying or repelling mobs. Of course, it's consuming EMC from the Klein star that I've got, which has a sizable storage capacity. So I don't really have to worry about that. Okay. Now, the Body Stone and Soul Stone, I don't think they actually do anything just being in your inventory or right-click or anything. I think that they only function on the pedestal, Dark Matter pedestal, but if I'm wrong about that, I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments section. Okay, so there is all those things and what they do, okay? Long story short. So, what is it that we're gonna do next? Let me just go in here real quick. I love the Carpenter's door. It is so good for hidden doors. It's just amazing. You can't even tell that's a door there unless you get close and actually look at it with what am I looking at or whatever. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to remove my red matter armor and unfortunately reveal my Stevie innards. My soft Stevie innards. And what we're gonna do is basically upgrade my red matter equipment. So first, I'm gonna take my red matter helmet, an Evertide amulet, the Soul Stone, and one of these Klein stars, and that will create the Gem helmet. Okay, Gem helmet, pretty cool. If I put it on, you'll see it's got a big blue gem in the center of the forehead, and it has the ability to give me night vision. See, press left shift plus F to toggle night vision. So if I do that, you'll see night vision disabled, night vision enabled. You'll see the world kind of changes a little bit. It also gives you unlimited water breathing. So let's just go over here and test that functionality out. And, of course, I've got my Evertide amulet on me. Oh, actually, you know what? The Evertide amulet only works when it's on your bar. However, the gem helmet has the power of the Evertide amulet. So I'm still capable of standing on water and just racing across it. And as you can see, once I go underwater here, my my air meter does not deplete. Okay, so unlimited air, night vision forever, permanent night vision. Okay, of course that means permanent particle effects too. So maybe I can turn that off. Okay, there we go. So that's that. Let's get back to the let's get back over here and go in and do the next one. The next part is the chest plate. So I'm gonna need a body stone, a Vulcanite amulet, and yet another Klein Star Omega. That's going to make the gem chest plate. Okay? Now, I could be mistaken, and this might be a terrible, terrible mistake, but seeing as the Vulcanite amulet was part of this, I do believe that I have permanent lava immunity while I'm wearing the gem armor chest plate. Okay? It also has another function, but I'm not sure what it is. Activated gem armor offensive abilities. What's that? Oh! What? Did I just summon lightning? That's amazing! I love it! Okay. And of course I'm fire immune and stuff too, so yeah. Oh my. Oh dear, look at what I've started. Come on, Doc, be responsible! Okay, let's fly back up here. And let's move on to the next thing. Let's see, let's deactivate gem armor offensive abilities. Alright. So, next up, I've got the Red Matter leggings. Now, these ones are a little bit different. I need the Watch of Flowing Time, a Black Hole Band, and yet another Klein Star. Now, of course, these are shapeless recipes, so I could put this stuff anywhere. And these are called the Gravity Greaves. Now, I'm not actually sure what they do, to be honest with you. I might even have to look that up. Let's press V. Is this just the same thing? Okay, so that's the same. It doesn't say anything in like the tooltip. Whoops, there goes my phone. That's probably my girlfriend. But anyways, yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Boy, I obviously need a drink. Hold on just a second. All right, and I am back. And not only did I get my necessary drink to quench my thirst and clear me of the coffees, because I was definitely coughing up a storm there for a minute. I had a dry throat. But not only did I do that, but I also looked up what the gem leggings do. Okay, so if I just head outside here, you'll see. Let's see here. So zombie coming towards me. Okay. Now if I hold shift, it actually repels the zombie, just as if I had Swiftwolf's Rending Gale activated. See? So Rending Gale activated. Of course, Rending Gale's a little bit more powerful than the Gem Greaves, honestly. But holding shift, yeah, totally does that thing. So that's pretty cool. It also allows me to fall faster by holding shift. I don't know if you could tell there. In fact, why don't I just fly so you can see? So yeah, if I jump up, I hold shift, you can see, wow, I immediately rocket back to the ground. That's insane. I have never seen anything like, what? That's cool. Okay, so, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my, okay. So, that's complete. Next up, we've got one more, the gem boots. Okay, so the gem boots are just made with red matter boots, And, whoops, you know what? Do protect you from fall damage, but not in some situations. Now, I can just sort of like fly with them, sort of like a jetpack, just by holding space. And also, I move very quickly while flying. However, it seems to take a little while to reverse direction. It doesn't really have great controls. However, I can still double tap space just to return to regular flight. So, but it doesn't have the speed benefits. Also, you'll see that I fall more slowly. Whoa! Holy crap! Stop! What? That's crazy. Okay. Wow. Jeez Louise. I don't think I've... I was way ahead of the world there. The world's just... I could not let the world load. Holy smokes. Okay, wow. Holy crap. Okay, that's crazy. But as you can see, regular Swiftwolf's Rending Gale. Now, what I have been led to believe is that if I am sprinting, it does not protect me from all fall damage. But that is in the original Equivalent Exchange 2 mod, and it does not seem to apply here. I do seem to be immune to fall damage, which says to me that there is no good reason for me to make another Swiftwolf's Rending Gale. Wow. Jeez, it also increases my running speed quite a lot. As you can see, I'm like a rocket on land. I'm like a land rocket here. So yeah, that is Gem Armor. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the demonstration. Let's go ahead and store all these things in my table here so that I can use them later. I can retrieve them should I ever need to do so. Although I kind of doubt with this on I'm gonna die, because if I've read all the information correctly, I should have just insane levels of damage protection. Like, this spider can't do anything to me, that's for sure. So, I mean, I can just sort of stand here and take this all day, and it really doesn't hurt.
Europeans who visited America, what was your biggest WTF moment? Did a house exchange in New Jersey, from UK, and on the second day a neighbor came to the door with an actual cherry pie to welcome us and ask us to dinner. It was 1. A huge confirmation of stereotype. 2. Really touching and sweet. Pie was also wonderful BTW. 3. A bit weird because we knew our neighbors wouldn't give a flying frick and we felt bad : Not a WTF moment, but nevertheless a moment I will remember. It was my second trip to California. I was only 18 years old when I got out of the plane. As usual, I had to go through all those security checks. At the last checkpoint, the officer asked me whether I have anything in my suitcase that I didn't mention on his CBP thing. Then he asked for drugs and then for alcohol. I honestly answered all questions with no, when surprisingly he asked me why not. A bit confused, I told him that I knew I wasn't allowed to take drugs or drink alcohol in his country. He got interested and asked whether it was different where I'm from. Germany. Here the minimum age is 16 for light beverages like beer and wine and 18 for the other stuff like spirits. He was so interested, he kept asking stuff for like 5 minutes, not even minding the 100 people behind me. When he let me pass, he instantly turned towards the guy in the other checkpoint, was like, "Hey, did you know?" Double quote. Damn, I just realized a lot of people's first experience in America are these clowns at SAR. First thing I saw after sitting down to have my first beer in Portland was some guy walking in the middle of the street, half-butt dressed as a ninja, with 2 swords on his back. Oh, and before that some homeless guy told me and my friend to go back to your country. Then some slightly hippie looking girl apologized for his behavior. We just laughed at how scripted the situation felt and went to have the beer above. Also, when you play Grand Theft Auto you hear strangers on the street yelling and talking about weird crap. That just felt exaggerated until I went to the US and realized it actually happens all the time. Ironic that a homeless guy tells you to go home. In 2015 I went to Florida. We walked past a crazy golf place and a guy was holding an alligator in his arms. He also told me he had an 8-foot alligator in the back. I'm from England, so I don't think I'll ever quite get over just how casual he was having a freaking alligator in his arms. That's very much a regional thing. My wife is from Florida and isn't fazed by alligators. I'm from Georgia, Alabama, and I won't go near the dang things. I went to pay with card in a restaurant and the waiter just took it and walked off. Sometimes people just give me their card while I'm working. I'm from Canada, and once they hand it to me I panic and have to explain to them that they pay themselves with the machine and that we don't do it for them. We have a lot of Americans coming down from Alaska because I live on a highway that goes from Alaska down to Washington state. Not European but Arab. Went to some diner in Portland, Oregon, and I ordered coffee. Halfway in my coffee she asked me if I wanted a refill. I politely declined, telling her I was short on cash. She laughed and said refills are free of charge, and to top of my amazed reaction she complimented my shirt. Needless to say, she cured my hangover and I fell in love. Had my cousins come over from Latvia for a few weeks. They never got over the absolute size of stores like Walmart and the sheer amount of products offered. Excuse me, I ordered a small. My dad was in tennis last year. He said it was really strange that everyone says hi to you. I am vacationing in Denmark right now and it feels so cold that nobody says hi to me, even in the elevator. All the prices are pre-tax. When I ordered a cappuccino at IHOP and it came in a bowl-sized mug with cream on top and was filled with sugar and vanilla. IHOP was madness. I think my order was about 9,000 calories. Not European, I'm Australian, but went to a Walmart in Arkansas. It was just like stepping into the people at Walmart page. Walmart, Arkansas. Ha, you jumped in with both feet right there. European gone to Texas, the difference in religion is astounding. It's so much more prevalent in people's lives here. There are some beautiful churches in Europe, but they don't seem to have the same spirit as Texas. Also, holy frick, the driving distances are immense. An hour commute in the morning is normal for people. 24 hours open grocery stores, so no excuse if you forgot to buy milk. In Netherlands some days markets close at 6 p.m. Till Europeans all visit Texas. It's the America of America. Back in 1987 and asking for a burger and chips, then sat wondering why the hotel waitress looked at me funny, then my food turned up. On the other hand, if you ask for fish and chips, everyone in the US will know what you mean. The only time that chips means French fries in the US is if it's preceded by the words fish and. So I've been living in the States for 3 years now, originally from England. I turned to my co-worker one day and asked, "Can I borrow a rubber?" She proceeds to do a double take and said, "What?" I asked again, and told her it was to rub out the mistakes I made with the sketch I was working on. She proceeds to burst out laughing and explains to me what a rubber really means. I should have said eraser. While in Florida, we went through a drive-thru and the lady couldn't understand what I was ordering regardless of how slowly and carefully I spoke, so I decided to go inside instead where the lady behind the counter couldn't understand me either. I am a northern Brit but not too broad an accent. My little sister had to put on her Florida accent to order for us. The manager who eventually took the order said she was sorry as the staff were only used to normal English, lol. Boston. Didn't notice I had left Europe. Houston. The people were as friendly as they were huge and loud. Hugely loud and loudly huge, I guess. Nashville and other places I went kinda blend together in my head, except for the delicious food. Oh, and the person who asked if my country had coins and traffic lights. What? Yes, I mean, what? I was extremely surprised that in fast food restaurant you will find unlimited soft drinks from time to time, like a refill cup, yet people pay extra for a bigger cup, so they don't have to walk too often, I guess. So much water in your toilet bowls. It's like you're taking your turd for a swim. No, we just love the splash of toilet water on our buttholes when pooping. We make our own bidets, thank you very much. While walking around Austin, random people would just give me a "Hey, how's it going?" as they walked past. In the UK, if someone even looks like they might glance in your direction, it probably means they're about to try selling you something. I probably offended a couple of them with how defensive I seemed. Come to New York, you'll like it. We won't even look in your general direction. There's freaking flags everywhere. The American flag density per square km is so much higher than any other place I've been. It's like every other house has a flag. The number of American flags on display very dramatically shot up after 9/11. Your commercials on TV for prescription drugs. We found the disclaimers for the side effects hilarious. Yes, so do Americans. This is not me. I read a story of 4 Germans who had just finished high school and were going on a USA road trip of beer and herb in some places. They didn't find out the drinking smoking age was 21 until they got there. I had a foreign exchange student friend come from Germany when we were about 19/20, and he ordered a beer the first time we went out to eat. He was shocked when they asked for it and denied him a drink. We laughed and asked if he knew that 21 was the drinking age here. He just replied, "Yes, I heard that, but it seemed too ridiculous. I thought no one would care." Jacksonville, Florida 2010. During some jazz blues street festival, a lady across the street shouts hi there. I shout back hello. She clocks my accent immediately. Britain, Wurubriatayen. I nod slightly. I go back there in a month for the first time since. I left my hotel in Texas at 7 a.m. Stopped at McDonald's and got enough breakfast sandwiches to last me through lunch. I then stopped at a gas station to get gas and cigs and 2 Cokes. I gunned it through Texas, sometimes going over 90 miles an hour. I stopped one more time to go to the toilet and get gas and snacks. At 7:30 p.m. I stopped at the hotel to spend the night. I was still in Texas. From Beaumont to El Paso is almost as far as Paris to Budapest. A guy casually selling scorpions on the Vegas Strip probably was at a 4th of July party in the middle of the woods, chilling, having a great time and some beers, zip lining from a tree into a lake. It was like a 90s film come true. Out of nowhere, this redneck comes in with an AR-15 slung over his shoulder shouting, "Let's shoot some crap up." Naturally, I shat myself and made to run into the woods before realizing he was just a guest who turned up a bit late. He turned out to be a really nice guy. I'm Canadian, not European, but still the first time I saw a dude walk by me, into a bank no less, and he stood near a cop, with a gun on a holster, and not cause crap, it blew my mind. I went into a Pizza Hut in Nevada and the guy working the register was open carrying. It's normal here, all arguments for or against aside. The space. You guys have so much unused untouched space. It's crazy. In Europe there is barely anywhere that isn't owned or isn't being used. In Europe we have protected forests. In America you have some unrestricted, uncontrolled forests that are massive. Tell that to Scandinavia. They have all this freezing cold land and no people to populate it with. It blows me away that Stockholm has less than 1 million people in it and it's the biggest city in Sweden. I grew up in suburbs that were more populated than that. I'm actually in Nick right now, so that was good timing. I'm from the UK. Yesterday I went to Central Park and there were literally 2 guys just driving around on Segways with giant butt snakes around their necks. Occasionally they'd take them off and dangle them around the nearest random person. I was actually frozen with horror. In Florida, how amazingly friendly people were whilst talking absolute nonsense to make us happy. We are from Wales in the UK. This guy at a burger store asked where we were from and started to tell us how he loves Wales, then went on about how his mum lives there. We asked what part of Wales does she live? His reply, Paris, I think. I'm an Aussie who visited USA. Hope it's okay for me to crash this thread. We loved our visit. Loved the whole bloody place. But I was absolutely gobsmacked when I found Fruit Loops with marshmallows. I genuinely did not think it was possible to make Fruit Loops more unhealthy. But you guys did it. Love your work. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Initially it was people not understanding my accent, but I am used to that now. IDK, I can understand you just fine. So many flags, they were everywhere. I used to live in Canada but live in the US now. It was really weird to me that when I use my debit card it can be ran as debit or credit. Didn't make sense, and to my knowledge doesn't really make a difference. In the US there is a law protecting credit card users, from back in the early 70s I think, that gives you legal recourse against theft and other things. You don't have those protections with a debit card, since the credit card companies charge less for debit transactions. The store would prefer you do debit. As a US consumer you are much safer using credit. This in 2013. Paying water bill by sending a check in the mail. Giving credit card information off the phone. The entire tipping concept. When I was in LAS Vegas I saw this 300 kilogram specimen pouring 3 packets of sugar sweetener into his Pepsi at the breakfast buffet. Most Americans would think that whole sentence is freaking disgusting. I went to Vegas and saw a homeless guy with a sign that said "kick me in the balls for $20. This huge dude was well up for it. He had a bit of a run up and hoofed him right in the knackers. This poor tramp was rolling around in agony but got his money. As an American, this bothers me too. I had that moment in almost every restaurant. Way too much food on my plate, and even a small Coke is a large Coke in my opinion. What's interesting is to see the differences from north to south as well. When I visited the South for the first time I ordered a medium meal at a Mexican place and was handed a tray full of food and a drink that was definitely a large up north. Later on for science I bought a large drink and honestly they're like a liter or more. But dang, I love me some sweet tea now. Went to Florida for holiday and it felt like every third car was a Toyota Corolla I think. There was an absurd amount of the exact same car in mostly the same color. Red, and it was blowing my mind. Couple we stayed with were hugely nice but very religious and overweight. They voted for Obama and then Trump. Also drove us 4 hours for a day trip. The bread is inexplicably sweet. A nice healthy pancake with blueberries for breakfast was actually 5 pancakes with blue syrup and whipped cream. I could get used to root beer floats though. A rare sentiment from a European. Mostly I hear that Europeans think root beer tastes like toothpaste. My brother lived in Tampa for a while. When I went to visit any American I spoke to told me their life story, their military career, how many jobs they have, kids they have, how old they are, etc. I took a 40-minute trip in an Uber from the Keys to Ever, and I'm not kidding. This guy talked, seemingly without taking a breath, the entire time. As a Brit this was very very uncomfortable. I'm American and I hate talkative Uber Lyft drivers. I'm hoping in the future the app has an option to choose quiet ride. Every time I fly into JFK I'm appalled at how rude and incompetent all the employees are. So many freaking homeless people in SF. SF was the first place I went in America, and it wasn't just the homelessness that struck me, but how many of them were amputees. We have homelessness in the UK, but they mostly have legs. You have been visited by the Wealth Rat. Subscribe in 12 seconds and he will share his wealth with you. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people. To all of the people who work the late shift at convenience stores, such as Wawa, 7/11, Quickie Mart, what is the craziest story that you have from your time working there past midnight? Had a drunk guy come in fully clothed, walked around for a minute, stood in place for minutes then head to the bathroom. When he came out he was wearing nothing but his t-shirt, left the store hanging dong into 3-degree weather, never saw him again. Fugue state. Not me, but a friend of mine found out during a robbery that the emergency button under the counter actually just locks you in the store with a now panicking armed robber. His boss later told him it was to prevent people from getting away. I mean, it did also put in a call to the alarm company, who eventually called the police, but for a good 25 minutes he really thought he was going to die there. Sounds like massive liability for the store. Most places tell their employees to cooperate. Cash can be replaced, lives can't. Oh man, I have a great one. So I worked at this gas station that constantly got robbed. One night it was me and this woman. We're dealing with a couple of customers when these two guys walk in, grab 4 suitcases of beer, and walk out the door. They were so slick about it we almost didn't notice. They peeled out from the parking lot in an old white Ford F-150. So we called the cops, gave them our statements, went on with our lives. Maybe 2 hours later we see an old white F-150 tearing down the street followed by fricking 9 cop cars. We're like holy crap. Maybe 15 minutes later we see that old white F-150 tearing down the street going the other way, followed by about 14 cop cars. Not an exaggeration. I counted. So the rest of our shift goes by. About 5 hours and we've forgotten about it. A cop stops in shortly before I punch out and is like, yeah, they were in a stolen truck. We got the guys. So I clock out, get in my car, go to leave, and have to pause while this tow truck trundles on by. I pull in behind it. What's it towing? That same freaking old white Ford F-150. This sounds like the plot to an episode of Clark's Animated. Worked overnight at a Quick Trip for 2 years. So many drunks. People who'd crap vom all over the bathroom. Had one guy puke from the middle of the candy all the way to the front door. Had another guy fall down and break the roller grill. Had a guy threaten to kill and then frick me because his food stamp card declined. Didn't happen on my shift. But this one regular who would come in and tell everyone that she was my aunt and flip out over trivial crap. Threw a temper tantrum one night, and it took 4 cops to take her down. The one worker who'd get plastered on her nights off at the bar next door and draw dongs on her co-workers' cars. Okay, that was me. Oh, Wisconsin. I once saw a man come in, stare at me for a few minutes, walk into the soda aisle, and slowly pour a 2-liter bottle of Sprite down his pants. Then he left. There was the time a woman drove her car into the 7-11 I worked overnights at. All started when a guy no-showed again. I get called in so a guy doesn't have to work 24 straight hours. Goes well. I'm tired, counting cash 4 AM and all of a sudden I hear a loud noise behind me. Then the rack of cigarettes behind me rains down on me like a waterfall. Once the cigarettes stopped, I used colorful language to ask what was happening. To myself, bit out loud, and go check outside. There's a Jeep pulled back into the spot. I check if the driver is okay, and she is. But I hear through her phone that didn't seem to be on speakerphone. How the frick did you crash into a 7-11? So I call the cops and the owner. It all gets worked out. But when the cops arrived they first laughed, then breathalyzed and alphabet tested the woman to see if she was drunk. She was not, just a tired crappy driver. I'm betting crappy based on the phone call I overheard. The owner trusted me from then on, as I ended up handling the initial insurance portion and regional manager pictures of the damage. The customers were impressed that I didn't crap myself when it happened, and I got this story now. While working an overnight shift at McDonald's, I once watched a guy go through the drive-thru in reverse because his window was stuck and he refused to open his door. Please tell me it was a 2-door so there is no excuse for him to not use the passenger window behind him. Had a regular customer nicknamed Spuddy who was a shell-shock Nam vet. He came in once and gave me $600 and just said hold on to it for me, I might need it one day. I found out later they kept an envelope in the safe for him to make deposits into cause his daughter would steal his disability checks. One day Spuddy came in with a dirty mangy looking spits and he gets put mop bucket and a big jug of mop and glow and goes outside. He ties the dog up to the spigot near the entrance of the store and fills up the bucket and gets some good suds going, then dumps it on the dog. The dog proceeds to attack him and bites him up pretty bad and Spuddy just bails and runs off. Meanwhile the dog is tied up in front and mad as heck and nobody could get in or out. Had to finally call animal control. They get there, accidentally unleash him and the dog attacked one of the dog catchers and then ran off, presumably to find Spuddy. Legend has it that the dog is still chasing Spuddy. Not super crazy, but a few years ago I worked 3rd shift at Walgreens. I was working and noticed a car in the parking lot with its lights on. Didn't think much of it. An hour or 2 later they were still there, so I told my manager. We went out to investigate, not supposed to do this, and noticed the car had a lot of damage on the driver's side of the car and the driver was passed out on the steering wheel. We knocked on the window and they woke up and were clearly wasted, and we noticed there was a kid in a child seat in the back. Long story short, we called the police and they gave them a sobriety test and arrested them. Saw their mugshot on the local newspaper website a few days later. Felt bad for the kid. When your dad takes you on a trip to get some cigarettes and forget that you're in the car, comma. I worked briefly at a gas station convenience store. The owner of the gas station, my boss, when he tends the store, he just sits in the back room doing whatever, while he has his German Shepherd chill near the cash register. He somehow trained him to bark 3 times whenever a customer comes up to the cash register to pay. My boss will then hear the 3 barks and walk out of his back room to tend to the customer. The dog only does it for my boss though, but not for me or any other of his workers. The dog also urinates by standing on the toilet seat into the toilet bowl. Customer, nice. Probably way too late to get in on this, but UHH. Used to work on Bourbon Street. Got loads of stories. 1. Found a gun in the urinal while a guy was fighting with one of our shot girls. Take a moment, hide gun, carefully, and ask boss about it. He points to the guy. Guy's got an empty holster. 2. Had a guy pick up a girl from the restroom because I am leaving right now, except she was still using the bathroom. You never wanna be the guy with a mop on Bourbon. 3. Watch this guy argue with a cop about football or something. He started getting mad. Then he hit the freaking cop in the jaw. One of the bouncers from down the street walked up and grabbed the guy while like a billion cops came from God knows where. 4. Freaking prostitute walked up to me with some powder and asked me if I could tell whether or not it was coke. It was crushed Smarties. At a Missouri-based convenience store, had a guy in our parking lot, doing what looked to be take-high at 1 in the morning. He would do the motions, then kick flip off the side of the building and go back to doing the motions. We told him he needed to stop doing that. Goes to the pumps, takes the nozzle off, buzzes for inside pay, chooses a grade of fuel and splashes it in his mouth. He spits it out, chooses another grade and does it again. This is the point where we called the cops. After he decided he was done mouth-washing with fuel, he comes in and just starts loading up with bags of chips, candy bars, a single 12 ounces Bud Light from a 6-pack. Half of the stuff was opened. Cop got there, told the guy he had to pay, then put him in the back of his car. Word from the cop the next day was that he was an extremely disturbed individual and he was admitted to a mental ward. Creepy as crap. That was by far the weirdest. I've had a 45-year-old drunk lady dry hump me, people taking juices in the bathroom and playing finger paint all over the walls. I had an idiot, one time, that stuffed a 6-pack down his pants, walked down the aisle, dropped it on accident and had 5 cans drop and just roll away and he walks out the door. By far the most disgusting one was someone placed the 2 plunger in the bathroom on adjacent walls and balanced a piece of crap on them. I just couldn't put my head around that one. I didn't personally experience this one, but down the road at a competing convenience store, they had a guy one night come in, sit down at one of their tables and fillet himself from ear to ear. Even hearing the story still bothers me. Someone placed the 2 plungers in the bathroom on adjacent walls and balanced a piece of crap on them. Holy crap, that's hilarious. While my crew and I were on break sitting on the loading dock at our grocery store, we witnessed a very drunk man coming from the recently closed bar try to steal a Christmas tree from our parking lot. We let him get about 20 feet with it, which took him a good 10 minutes, before yelling at him and scaring him shitless. I had a guy come into the gas station where I work about a year ago, obviously on drugs, but I have a lot of regulars that are addicts, and most aren't violent, just weird. So he wanders around the aisles, occasionally looking over and staring at me for 10 seconds or so each time. After the last customer leaves, he comes up and pulls out a small pocket knife, the Swiss Army knife kind. Looks at me and say, "I was supposed to do something very bad to you, but I decided not to." I think, all while opening and closing this knife. Robbing me is one thing, but this guy just directly threatened my life. He gives me the knife, just hands it to me, tells me to hold on to this for me, looks around for about 15 seconds, and asks for it back. Obviously I shouldn't give it back to him, This dude just threatened to murder me, but this guy is huge, about 6 feet 3 inches 200 pounds lean muscle. He could have killed me with his bare hands, so I just gave it back to him. He tells me to keep my eyes open and leaves. I called the cops after he left. Turns out he's an Iraq war vet who wasn't taking his medicine. Such a shame. I started open carrying my handgun after that though, since the owner was a pro-gun conservative. Really cleared out a lot of the troublemakers, so I haven't had anything that crazy since. I did have a homeless guy try to pay for junk food with jewelry before asking about any houses for sale in the area. This guy wasn't interested in buying a house, if you catch my drift. Oh, and yesterday I found some used needles in the trash, so that was fun. Another time I had this lady comment on my gun, talking about how she wanted one. This was right after trying to sell me a scale that has what I can only imagine is drug residue on it, with other customers in the store. Bold freaking move. She runs to the bathroom for 20 minutes, during which a local police officer comes in to buy some cookies. Perfect timing. My co-worker tells him what's up, so he calls for backup and they search her and find some H and stuff. Turns out she was shooting up in my bathroom and left some blood on my floor, which upset me the most because I had to clean that crap up. Seen lots of small weird stuff, but those are the ones I remember the most. Whataburger ex-worker here. Night shifts vary. Saturday of the end of spring break, a house party was broken up. All the kids came to Whataburger all of a sudden. Saw the Snapchat videos of the cops breaking it up. Kids thought the corner table was a good rolling table for joints. At the end of the shift saw the same cops that were in the videos. I told them the party they broke up just rolled through here. They laughed. The 4th of July, I did a 10 PM shift to 5 PM. Stoners. Drunk people. It was busy. I love the chaos of drunk people. Guy walked behind the counter. New Year's Eve. Jam-packed. Our manager gave us beads to wear for morale boost. Some drunk lady thought we earned them like they do at Mardi Gras. I said no. I lied to her saying we danced for them. So of course, she wants the shiny beads. I told her I did little teapot dance for them. She drunkenly did the dance in the lobby. I said it wasn't good enough, so she huffed and sat down. My manager thought it was funny. All in all pretty sane for Whataburger. I ruled the diner and kept it in check. That actually sounds entertaining, although I hope that's a typo and you didn't actually do a 19-hour shift because holy frick. This happened in 1996 at a store in Live Oak, FL called Suwannee Swifty. We were located on Walker Ave, which at the time was referred to as Crack Alley. On Friday and Sat nights we'd have a huge number of cars in the parking lot and lots of shoplifting. People getting high and drunk in the lot. I'd already had to call 911 on a heart attack in the bathroom and 2 others in the parking lot at different times. Anyway, I was working the store alone and was at the tail end of a double shift that was turning into a triple. I'd been there since 5 AM and it was coming up on 1 AM, and my relief, which happened that night to be my manager, called in drunk and said I'd have to stay till 5 when the next morning shift come in. I was mad as heck and I could see folks just openly stealing crap and basically daring me to do anything. One of the workers came in from a different location and told me to just shut down for the night. I tried asking people to leave but they wouldn't. I had maybe 40 people in the store by then. Finally I called the police and then got up on the counter and made the announcement that cops were on their way. Everyone had about 3 minutes to take whatever they wanted and get the frick out. It took about 3 minutes to clear us out of every case of beer and every 40 of malt liquor, not to mention most of the bread and beef jerky and even the big jar of pickled eggs and pig's feet we kept on the counter. When the last person left I put a chain and padlock on the door and went home. The next day I came by at lunchtime and police and insurance people were there along with a still drunk manager who showed up hours late for the morning shift and had no idea what was going on. I asked if I was on the schedule for the week and she just slowly shook her head and told me to get out. Not a convenience store story, but for a while I was a manager at a seedy dive bar in a dodgy strip. We were open from 9 AM to 5 AM and would get all sorts in. One morning a woman orders 3 drinks and 3 meals. She looked a bit out of it, but we would get a lot of people coming off night shift, so didn't think much of it. She proceeds to sit at one of 4 outdoor tables. Downs 3 glasses of cheap wine, and when her meal comes she starts feeding the nearby pigeons, tearing the food. Schnitzels. with her hands and dropping it. She then escalated to chewing her food and spitting it at the ground, quickly attracted loads of birds, so I politely request that she stop feeding the birds. She acts really affronted, like I was a weirdo, but says she'll stop feeding them. When I turn to walk back inside, she screams, "I'll freaking drag you to the car park and stab you in the throat with a screwdriver." See, lucky the cop shop is opposite the bar and they didn't take long to respond, but it took 4 cops to subdue her. I work at 24-hour BP garage. We had an old creepy Russian bloke, no English and cheap tracksuit etc. walking about 1 AM. He bought something and I thought he was stroking himself through his trousers while I served him. After he left, we noticed puddles on the floor. Turns out he had pee himself while standing at the till. Not a fun one to clean up after. Not a 24-hour story, but I worked at a grocery store for a while. In the middle of the day, a guy parks his brand new BMW in the handicapped lane. A lady rolls up right across a divider from him, and instead of braking her car, slams the gas and rolls right up onto the hood of his car. Both drivers weren't hurt, as the BMW driver was gone, but the car was 6 days old. In other news, he had no handicapped parking yet parked in the handicapped spot. Well, trying to avoid their car getting dinged by parking in the handicapped space, which is what I assume they were doing, sure backfired. I used to work the graveyard shift as a waiter at IHOP. One night as I was checking out a group of people, a man covered in sweat hurries through the front door and stammers out, "Where's the bathroom?" I point to the back and continued taking orders. About 10 minutes later I see him in a corner booth shaking back and forth and muttering under his breath like a madman. I ask a table if they know what his deal is, but they're just as weirded out as I am. I go up to him and ask him if he wants a water or something to drink, but he doesn't address me, so I go back into the kitchen. After I tell my manager, I see 3 cops quickly enter the restaurant and detain him. Turns out the dude was high on M and crashed his car into a bank about a block away, then ran to the IHOP. I worked at Wawa. One night this guy comes and I am assuming he had a mental disorder. Anyways, he walks towards the gas pump and puts the handle where gas comes out in his mouth. He then grabs a lighter and starts flicking it. My manager had to beg him to put the handle thing back on the pump. Waffle House in Albuquerque on the edge of the war zone. 1993. Pre-cell phone. After 9 PM the office was locked and the only other phone took incoming calls only. No outgoing. Just me and another chick. I was 18, she was 19. Worked the night shift. Every few weeks some crackhead would come in and start picking up plates off the tables and start smashing them on the grill. We couldn't call anyone and they were between us and the door, so we'd just have to ride it out, and after they left try and get all the glass out of the grill so we weren't serving bloody mouth hash browns. One place demanded all the money in the register. He was not armed and the place was in a crappy neighborhood, so it had bulletproof dividers. It also had a button that would lock the door. We locked the door on him to prevent him from leaving and called the police. He spent the next 5 minutes tearing up the place. The place was tiny, maybe 80 square feet of merch. Got a free paid day off out of it. I've shared this before on Reddit, but a few years ago when I was working cash at McDonald's overnight, a carload of highly intoxicated dudes rolled up to drive-thru. If you worked fast food, you know immediately if the customers are drunk when they get to the mic, because they literally never stopped laughing, yelling, cussing as they order. But these young gentlemen were different. They had a special request for each item they ordered, and that was to add lettuce to each and everything they wanted. I made a milkshake blended with lettuce, topped with whipped cream and lettuce, black coffee with lettuce, McNuggets. I made the McNugget salad, French fries, lettuce. It was actually pretty fun to make everything.
Nothing.
Overnight shifts can get pretty slow. When the guys came to the window, the guy driving the car could not hand me the money to save his life. His entire complexion was flushed. His eyes were red and dull and his hand trembled and swayed as he tried to pay. Needless to say, don't drive under the influence. But high drunk customers are usually entertaining. You would think that people would try to be more discreet about the fact they're driving intoxicated, but I literally had a guy one time smoking from his bong while he waited for his food in drive-thru. I worked suicide shift at a gas station for a short while as I was moving soon and wanted to make extra money to help me move out of a town that drove me up the wall with lawlessness and corruption. I wasn't robbed, probably out of the sheer virtue I only had the job for 2 weeks. I did spend those 2 weeks being shot at by punks with paintball guns. Every dang time I stepped outside I got frickin' nailed. Like guys literally had nothing better to do than to hide behind bushes for hours on end and wait for an opportunity to snipe my butt. Anyway, the police in that town would never show up for a complaint about vandals with paintball guns. It just simply wasn't a crime as far as they were concerned. So my mind was made up, I'm never opening the front door again for any reason, no matter what. And they tried everything they could to con me to come outside. Oh, there's a fire, there's someone out here having a heart attack. You better get out here quick, frick off already. In her, this frickin' drunk comes up and asks for the bathroom key. And he says he's too drunk to open the door himself. He needs me to open the door for him. I slid a key through the slot and told him he was on his own. He was fricking with that lock for nearly an hour. Just how frickin' drunk are you, you piece of crap? So he gives up, brings the key back, drops it on the ground, then whips out his dong and pisses on it. I was livid. I went out there to beat the crap of that drunken bastard. Guess what happened the second I opened the front door? The whole goddamn station came under a barrage of hundreds of paintball rounds. There had to be a dozen of those shitheads hiding in the bushes across the street. It took an entire day to wash that crap off the windows. I got hit a few times, but that drunk got the worst of it. He took at least 3 rounds to the face. That was the last time I ever opened that door for charitable reasons. We also sealed off the bathroom to non-customers, but those punks still found a way to get to me. They come in, I don't know, it's them BTW, buy gas, and ask to use the bathroom. So I slid out the key to them. When the box was slid out, 2 of them grabbed the box and yanked it out as hard as they could, making it impossible for me to place it. 3 more jump out of the car. One of them yanks his trousers off and the other 2 pick him up and drop him with his butt on top of the open box. And he sprayed diuretic crap all over the inside of that box. So with the box out of commission, guess what happens every single time someone has to pay by cash? I open the front door and everyone gets frickin' nailed with paintball gun rounds. Jesus, I'm so glad I got out of that frickin' town. Abbotsford, British Columbia, in case anyone is wondering. 3 years ago I worked graveyard shift MF at 7-Eleven. I had a strange gentleman come in a minivan. He had a group of people in the van with him. It was about 300 hours, and he looked like a Green Day reject. Green spiky hair, obese, greasy, denim vest, and had his eyebrows shaved off with the words, "End the world" tattooed across where his eyebrows once resided. BTW purchased $40 in gas and handed me a $100 bill. It passed the counterfeit pen swipe test, and at the time that was the only way to detect counterfeit bills. But as I looked at the bill, I just felt really uneasy about it, but I accepted it. As he filled up his gas, I stepped outside to smoke, and I memorized the color, make, model of the van along with the license plate and scrolled it down as I returned inside and called the local police after he drove off. The officer arrived and spent 45 minutes checking out this bill. He determined in his 17 years of policing it was the best counterfeit he had seen, and the paper dissolved when it came in contact with moisture. The officer confiscated the bill and I gave him the information of the vehicle and a description of the man. The next day, my supervisor called me and stated I am on suspension until further notice, due to my actions of giving the officer the bill. I had no formal training on what to do if I received a counterfeit that passes the pen test. It was a fairly new 7-Eleven. She caved 2 days later asking me to come in. Joke's on her. I already had plans to give my 2 weeks due to moving to Cleveland. Oh. My parents had a corner shop and somebody carried a broken sofa chair from somewhere, plonked it by the front door and fell asleep in it, blocking the entry. I was working and this was a huge bloke and very smelly. I called my mum and dad who were upstairs, and while dad was all for yelling at him, my mum woke him up with a sandwich and a cup of tea. He ended up trolling off into the night with an old coat and pair of New Balance of my dad's and 2 carrier bags full of groceries. Never saw him again. And we never found out where the chair came from. My dad worked gas station graveyard shifts in college. Was held up once. Just handed him the $50 or so in the drawer and reported it to the police and his manager. Another time, he reviewed a call from someone claiming to be in a building across the street with a rifle aimed at his head through the window. The guy said he was going to shoot my dad if he didn't empty the drawer into a bag and throw it over the back fence. Unfortunately for the would-be robber, several other people had called in with similar threats that all turned out to be unfounded. So my dad just told him no, called the police and went back to stocking the drink coolers. I worked the overnight shift at a gas station convenience store for years and have a few stories. We were on a major road outside of town, and on weekends we used to get the crowd from the nightclubs. You can always tell when they've had a good night, but on this occasion there was about 5 young women come in, all probably around 18-22 and very drunk, but one in particular is pretty much plastered. She needed help and was essentially being propped up by her friends. She was beyond wasted. They immediately head for snacks and soda, and I watch them leave the really drunk girl, who immediately kind of flops to the floor. They finally come up to the counter with a bunch of items. I scan them through and ask them about their night. Suddenly there is this really loud noise, like a bandsaw and a sawmill, only louder. I look at the ladies, they look at me, we look at each other, and then we all turn to see the girl has suddenly started snoring and drooling on the tiled floor. I don't know what it was, but it was the funniest thing ever and we all burst out laughing. Then again, one time I had my boss come in, which never happens, as I work alone. About 3 AM a guy comes in and he's bleeding profusely. The boss starts applying first aid and I call the police. I put a barrier up because the floor is covered in blood. He's lost probably 1 L of it. He's passed out. The ambulance is coming. And then some guy comes in and shouts and he's brandishing a knife. And a customer who happened to be in the store at the time tries to run but slips on the blood and hits her head on the ground. The guy panics and runs. And then the ambulance arrived. So glad my boss was there to witness that. I could scarcely believe it myself. Not necessarily cringe-worthy, but I'll share it anyways. Working late at Burger King. Only drive-thru was open. It was a slow night, so we are just hanging out. Car pulls into the parking lot and goes to the back by the dumpster. A few minutes later a patrol car pulls in next to the first car. A woman gets out of the car and goes into the patrol car. About 20 minutes later the woman and a cop get out of the patrol car, make out, and then she drives off. Cop gets back into his car and drives off too. The whole time we were speculating. Cop called the wife for a quickie during his shift. Cheaters? We'll never know, but small stuff like that made time pass by. That and the occasional nip slip by customers in the drive-thru. It was about 10 PM, so not super late, but I worked at a gas station. We had one customer we came in frequently around that time. He only mumbled gibberish and made these high-pitched keening noises for yes and no. He wouldn't make eye contact and it made him visibly nervous when you looked straight at him. He refused to touch his receipt and would mime ripping up a piece of paper, meaning he wanted you to rip up the receipt into tiny pieces and throw it away. He also refused to touch quarters, so when you gave him change you had to use dimes. He would also check the security camera each time he came in. I'm guessing he was schizophrenic or that and a combination of other things. The other employees and even my manager would make fun of him and laugh at him while ringing up his purchases.